Now, I'm going to try to cover as much of this stuff as I can remember. And boy, do I remember a lot, but I really want to make sure I hit every relevant thing possible. Because there's so many little facets of the conversation that ended up ensuing right there. This was phase 2 of the day. So first of all, he broke the responsibility that one in his position owes. See, if you're in his position, you know that after visit number 1, everyone lucked out because somehow the house of cards was left standing that is not being knocked down by anybody. All right? The safest and best thing you can do is leave it there, because miraculously it's still standing, and it could get a lot worse. And it's not going to. That's a rational mind. That's how it would work. Now he comes back to aggress and provoke without merit more than what is called for. So we move down towards the bedroom area to discuss further. I wasn't tolerating this. I'm like, why are you ripping my stuff? What's going on here? He starts talking to me. I'm fucking 30 plus years old already at this point. He starts talking to me like, it's not going to be any of your things on this wall. You fucking moron, you're in my house, you piece of shit. I live here as a resident, and you fucking are my things. You have no right at all to rip my shit. Who the hell are you? I don't look at you, I don't look towards you for permission to do anything in this life, you piece of shit, is what I'm thinking. But in my words, more respectfully, he didn't deserve respect. So again, my own fault. I should have just been gouging his eyes out immediately. It has to hurt you. That's the master lesson of all. The more time goes on, only the more and more obvious it is that that is the ultimate rule of the universe. It has to hurt you. Every time you people fuck up, it becomes more clear that the only thing I've done wrong is not hurt you people enough. That is very, very clear. Because through each grace I give, you... Well, the other video just cut off there for a moment. I keep running out of space on this phone, because there's so much content that has to be told so that it can be understood what's really going on here. So, now, obviously, I'm in the right. He's in the wrong. They're both in the wrong. You're perpetuating a false slant against me. Even to dream for 1 second you could do this. Oh, I'm there at home. We move towards the bedroom. We start not even so much arguing. I'm still in debate mode without really having it be a fight outright on my side. Half the reason for this, of course, is because you're being provoked on purpose. And if I start showing a blatantly open argument, that too will be reconstructed to be something that it's not. So that they will go more, oh, now we have to call the police. He's yelling, so call the police. And it will never end. I hate injustice. I will never stop persecuting you pieces of shit until you fucking apologize completely fucking 1,000%. I did nothing wrong. You're all fucking morons who deserve hell. You're burned forever. I fantasize about you people screaming in hell all the time. That's what you did. Your actions and choices are the reasons why I imagine you people in hell. So who's responsible for it, therefore? But only the twisted psychopath will say, you, it'll never end, you fucking psychos. You are the wrongdoers. I'm simply discussing with this guy who's in my apartment without my fucking permission. Doesn't matter that my grandfather's name is on the lease technically and not my name. where he's the fucking primary tenant there, and I'm the secondary tenant as his grandson, and we live in our own apartment together, and fucking my mom lives in a separate apartment where she has a living boyfriend on top of that, which is a place I grew up in. You don't get to fucking come down and dictate my life in the residence that I live in, you idiot. Doesn't work that way. Only if you have a disregard for other people's rights. By instinct will you try to make it that way. Psychopath. Your whole system of operation banks on getting other people to subscribe into a different, twisted belief and dynamic system than the one that actually properly applies. That's why people are wrong from the beginning. It requires delusional alternative thinking. That's what gaslighting is. Trying to get someone else to accept a twisted version of reality that you keep trying to forcefully offer. Like, yes, accept it. Accept this dynamic. Accept this twisted way of living. Well, I'll never forget this. Discussing the merits of the issue, because obviously in the round number 1 that day, I didn't discuss the merits of the issue. I had a man in front of me who felt like he wanted to be heard. I gave him the courtesy of letting him feel that at least he was heard in an attempt to disarm the man. It didn't work. So now we're escalating to step 2, which is, well, now we're going to discuss the merits of what the fuck happened here. Now, I didn't do anything wrong. And you came in here and you're recording me. And what the hell is this? Blah, blah, blah. You know what he said? In front of my mom, who was standing right there. And by the way, reasonable test. If that's what's going on, you're supposed to discuss reasonably the merits that are being discussed. Not to turn to anything else. No, you know what he says? He says, I would leave you here to die if I had the opportunity to. Just completely out of context. I didn't say anything to him directly to provoke it. I wasn't saying, fuck you, I'll fight you, fuck you. No, we're discussing the merits. And then, I'd leave you here to die if I could. It's all about continuing to program the victim into accepting, like, no, like, we want you to know that you're here for abuse. That's your role, carpet. That's your role, rug. We're training you to take abuse. Now, when we stomp our feet on your face, you're being trained to love it, you fucking victim. Well, no, I will murder you all first before it's ever accepted. Well, it'll never be accepted. And fuck you if I do end up murdering you, which I'm not planning to at all. But if one in my position in this life and in a parallel dimension ever were, it will be clearly understood that you motherfuckers are the ones who are abusing him. As for me, I try to fucking do something greater. But for sure, you will be murdered before I would ever accept that what you're doing is right. The world would fucking explode into a million pieces, and every fucking star in the galaxy would burn out before I ever would accept that you were right. Hell would freeze over before I would ever accept that you were right. Because you're not, and it's clear as day. But that's why we make these videos for you people, so that the truth can clearly be known as to what's going on. I'm standing in my house putting up with all this shit, and this guy comes down twice. The second time the most is unmerited, but the first time even you didn't belong there and you should have realized it. Then I'm going to be told that fucking in Polish, what the hell was it said? I remember the words. Ja bym ciebie zostawił, żebyś ty umarł. Means what I just said. I'd leave you here to die if I could. What does that mean substantively? And I want you, the audience, to pause and think for a second. So, threats to kill are outright legally controversial. So what does this piece of shit, coward, idiot, arrogant, though, and fucked up person do? He goes the closest way he could to fundamentally and substantively express the same feeling that he wants to express to me, which is he wishes I were dead. And he supports me not living. Wow. John, hold on a second. For some man to feel that way about you, what is it that you did that was plainly wrong, where after every moral attempt on his part to make reconciliation with you, that you did some horrible things? What happened? Nothing. Nothing. There is no fucking basis that's reasonable. And you were given the whole story so far. Anthony in particular, we've shared many other details before of the earlier histories. You heard the worst things. You heard that when I was 18, a fight broke out between me and my mom, and I ended up choking her. But this plays into the present day, by the way, in a very interesting way. You'll remember what was said and the things that led up to that, as well as the consequences in the aftermath. But let me tell you something. For the next couple of years after that, this is going back now a little bit, here's some really fucking weird things. Now, it was made clear that after that day, when this guy called the police, obviously there was no arrest made, because my mom wasn't even then willing to do anything. She's like, I'm not fucking signing anything against my son. No, but when you keep making the frame twisted, eventually you program her, oh no, now it is okay to go against my son. Just normalize it more. It's like propaganda. All right? I can't get the populace to twist 20 points worth of thinking over to the left. But I can boil them slowly like a frog in the boiling water. So they'll jump out if I turn it up too quick. But if I let it escalate slow, then I'll get them in the long run. It's the same thing. So people can be moved over time without even realizing they're being moved, because they're slow. They're playing the long game with their sickness, you idiots. Wake up. So back then we weren't even talking. Now there was a big silence in the house, because obviously I'm mad at him, because the thing he transgressed then was, regardless of what's going on, in the absence of an actual fucking sustained threat and emergency, you don't do that within the household to somebody in my position. Okay? That's number one. And we discussed, Anthony and you and I discussed this about this more deeply on the phone months ago. But I didn't tell you some of the aftermath that happened. Now, we're not talking anymore. But here's the weird thing. About a few months later, this guy wanted to buy a car. Or a couple years later, or something like this. The guy wanted to buy a car, and he didn't have enough money. So instead of going to the bank to get a loan, he had bad credit apparently. My mom comes up to me and says, hey, listen, can you lend this guy, my boyfriend, can you lend him $5,000? You see this? So first you're going to call the police on me, and then you're going to not apologize to me for having wrongfully done that in a way that, you know what, I'd even give him the benefit of the doubt. I wouldn't say it was outright wrong, like reasonably wrong, but it's definitely not reasonably right, because what it is controversial. But even when it's controversial, you owe a benefit of the doubt to the other person. I should have been considered differently. And we went through the different dynamics and the play-by-plays in terms of what would have been reasonable for any given moment. I made it clear that the one in his position, he jumped the gun in the way we were when my grandma was there. My grandma didn't approve of what my mom said either, and she made that clear afterwards. But my grandma was pretty much on my side. She just didn't appreciate the result, but she admitted and acknowledged. She was like, I don't like what happened. It was happened all in front of her. But she was like, but I understand why. I understand how she made the responsibility for how that happened. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, Grandma. I get it. She had the same exact judgment as the sage's servant in that article about whether or not we should honor abusive parents too. But she was smart. Now, what was I saying? Well, if you're foolish enough to have transgress that dignity against me, and then you don't further talk to me. Well, it's the same like I don't talk to you, but there's an impasse. Imagine, months and months later and beyond, you come to me to ask for money for a favor? Huh. Well, first of all, you wouldn't deserve it. The answer should have been no. However, even if you would, especially if the answer would be otherwise, and not just no, but some kind of special consideration is made for you, think there should be some kind of gratitude for that, huh? Think there should be some kind of re-bridging and an appropriate thing to happen there, huh? No, let's describe the kind of position that this guy perpetuates and sets up. He has no money, and he wants to borrow money from me. I had some money at the time. He doesn't even come up to me directly like a man, but he has my mom come up to me for him. So at first I was like, I don't understand. This guy wants money. Why don't he say something to me? He never came up to me, but again, my mom would come up to me, again, petitioning on his behalf, like, as his agent. Oh, please, he needs money to get the car. Wow. Well, you know what? I thought naively at the time, I'm like, look, all right. I don't like the guy, but if obviously I'm doing him a favor, then naturally he would be appreciative of it. Remember, only psychopaths don't do that. I wrote out a check for $5,000. And I drafted up a thing and I said, look, pay it back within a year. All right? This interest rate is to cover inflation barely and nothing more. So this rate is better than any rate you would get at a bank, and it's coming from me. So there you go. You're welcome. None of this was said to him directly. I handed this to my mom and said, there it is there. I didn't get a fucking proper acknowledgement. All I see is a withdrawal from my account, but no effort in any larger substantive sense to reintegrate a proper relatedness to me. Now, if you're borrowing money from me and you're thankful, presumably, that I'm lending it to you, maybe that's your way of your path to come back along to where the hell you reasonably should be, right? No. Instead, for months and months on, no conversation, just silence in my house completely. Is this morally acceptable, or is this not acceptably indignifying to the one in my position? Of course that's an insult. And what the hell is that even? Well, regardless, a year passes, and now it's beyond a year. I didn't get paid back a fucking dime. But he signed something to agree that he'll pay it back in a year. He violated his own word and agreement. Now, if he violated this, but he would come up to me and say, listen, I'm sorry, I know it's been more than a year. Money's tight, give me a little longer. I'm sorry. I'd say, all right, if money's tight and you acknowledge it, then take the time you need and you'll have it for me when you do, I'm sure, very soon. And we'd renegotiate a renewed understanding of when the money would likely be coming by if it was not within that first year. No. Because when you're a psycho, you don't owe a good filial relationship to anybody. You just do things, use people, and then victimize them later by going into their house and ripping down their things and then telling them that they should die. But I did nothing wrong in between that time of his borrowing money and non-repayment and the time where he was coming down to tell me about how he wished I would not be living. Really, John? Nothing happened between then and then? That's correct. I wasn't guilty of any further drama or story with regards to him. Oh, now this really does look very, very sick on the part of this person. That's exactly right. Now I'll fill in the story. Okay? No. Do you know what the only thanks I got was? For lending this money? No repayment, zero repayment at the time the money was due. No apology, no accountability from him, naturally. Maybe I waited a brief period of time afterwards. Could have been a few weeks or a month or a couple months, something like this. Then I realized I start talking to my mom since he's not fessing up. And instead of going to him directly, well, better we work through my mom, because if we work directly and you're such a fucking debtor and a defaulting fucking non-respecting piece of shit, large chance we may end up killing each other. So I go to the mom, say, why the hell haven't I heard anything from him, and where's my money? She comes, oh listen, he really can't pay yet, he's so sorry he can't pay. I'm like, he is so sorry? He doesn't look very sorry at all. The recording just cut out again. I keep running out of space. I keep having to re-record, deal with re-interruptions. Anyway, as I was saying, as I just reviewed now, yeah, he didn't seem very sorry at all. So I said, all right, well, I need some kind of discussion or understanding or whatever, so that the appropriate considerations can be made. You know how many times I heard from him? Zero. So I'm not going to hear anything from him, but yet I'm supposed to just sit there and overlook the fact that my money's not coming back to me, apparently. Who knows when? It could be ever. Nothing was given to me. So what the hell planet do you think you people live on? When we call the police on you, then I get to use you and borrow money from you, but still not give you dignity. Yeah, I just don't want to pay you back if I don't want to. It never ends. Right? So eventually, after not hearing any concessions or any agreements or renegotiations, nobody showed up to the fucking proverbial or metaphorical negotiating table whatsoever. At this point, I started having to send fucking notices to this guy's mailbox. He lives in my place, but he has this and some other mailbox. I was sending letters everywhere. Sending letters to my own house. How sick this is? To fucking establish the existence of a debt and all this, so that if I had to turn to a legal route, I'll have something to show that it was going that way already. All right, now weeks and weeks go by, notices are sent, still no response, no discussion. Instead, my mom comes back up to me, says, oh, you know, he sees these, you're sending these things, yes? You know, and as if to disapprove of it, like, oh, you know, this is not very nice. No, Satan inversion programming lady. That's not what's not very nice. Not very nice is not coming up to me like a man and fixing it. When you don't do that, sending letters is the exact perfect, correct thing to do for any human being in my position. So stop always being blind such that you think the opposite is the correct thing, when I'm telling you that my higher quality, superior mind is more correct, because obviously any objective listener understands that. It's very clear. Stop being in delusion. Just stop it. Just stop it and admit you're wrong. Stop it and admit I'm right. Stop ever thinking for yourself. Don't do any of your own thinking, stupid. Because you keep fucking up and wearing on my dignity even more. So, there I am. And she's like, oh, you're sending him letter. Why? But why are you doing this? I'm like, I didn't do nothing wrong. He took my money and is stealing it. What the fuck? Stupid idiots. And you don't even talk to me with respect. Why the hell would I put up with any of this shit? And then I still said, and still, I won't even sue. If you just make a new promise to me, I'll fucking regard that. even though your word obviously has zero fucking value, as is established already by this point. The fuck? Again and again, it's like, my problem wasn't being wrong, my problem was being too nice to these fucking people. The hell? You only learn when you get aggressed from the beginning properly by the one in my position. Idiots. I didn't do nothing wrong. The one who borrows from you owes to be fucking nice and considerate to you. You don't break that karmic rule ever. It's disgusting to do that. But when you love inversion addiction, you love flipping it so that it's like, oh, I'll borrow from you, but I'll still treat you like shit. It's like, you can't break that rule. You're shitting on God's head when you try to do that. Except when you don't believe in God, then you think you can do anything you want. We said this already. So eventually my mom came in between. I still never heard directly from this guy, so he is in every moral way possible just defaulting and dishonoring me. I shouldn't have done nothing. I shouldn't have refinanced anything. He says, look, all right, he's having a hard time financially because, you know, the 2008 crash or whatever. I don't know, less people. He's some kind of cab driver. What the fuck? He comes up to me. He doesn't come up to me. Sorry, my mom came up to me. He's like, all right. Eventually, we came to terms. We'll refinance so that you know, extend the period of time, and then he will pay it back. He can't pay it all back by now, but maybe if you give him another like couple of years or year and a half or something like that, he might get it paid back by then. Just ridiculous. But okay, Mom, all on account of the fact that it's because you're Mom. So was I a bad son or was I a good son? Hey, the bullshit never ends, though. So I signed up another piece of paper. I made the interest rate a little higher so I could get properly compensated for the fact that he dicked me the first time. It was 5% before. Fuck you. It's 18% now. But do that and get me my money back. But you want a year and a half? Here's a year and a half. All right. So his monthly payments went down. Good. Instead of coming back around to thank me for giving him the consideration of allowing him to extend the debt without me making any adverse move against him, instead of thanking me, do you know what he does? He starts coming around my room where the bathroom is, and every time he enters into the bathroom and comes out, he starts ripping fucking nasty farts in front of my door. Yeah. That's how to thank the people who help you out financially to bail your ass out. Are we loving this story yet, everybody, or what? All right. At first, I thought it was just a coincidence because this guy had some kind of fucking cancer, too, of the bowels or whatever. All right. But it's not a coincidence. I pay extremely close attention. When the only place he farts out loud in the whole house isn't even in the bathroom or in his own room, but only exactly when he's passing by my door, but every single time for like 45 times in a row, where it's outside of the bathroom and not inside of it. Give me a fucking break, you piece of shit. Why am I going to be disrespected in my own house that I grew up in? You bring this piece of shit from outside so you can borrow money from me, but call cops on me, but then go fart on my face in front of my door, and then later come wish me to die. It never ends when you're sick in the head. The only problem is that I didn't have enough of a large enough family or group of people to witness that this was happening. So when he's doing this in the quote-unquote proverbial dark, then the criminal doesn't get away. When he wants to get away with more, he can, because he sees no one stopping him. Moral criminal. See, this is moral crime. Indignation is immorality. I told my mom, why is he farting in front of my door all the time? He's farting? Oh, I don't know. Probably because maybe he's not feeling so good. I'm like, why are you so naive? This woman doesn't perceive things well. I once had a cousin come around who had a big problem with me. As soon as he sat down, it was obvious. His vibes, he had a big problem with me. I go to my mom, I'm like, why does a cousin so-and-so have a big problem with me? He doesn't have a problem with you. I'm like, you're fucking blind. Later, of course, it turns out, oh, he did have a problem. You're right. Mom, you don't see things, so stop trusting your broken eyes. We know you don't see things. You're the last one in the room to figure anything out. But the things you do believe are false beliefs that you come to too quick and without a basis. It's all twisted. God made woman's mind broken. Sorry, it's just the truth. But men were told not to let women run the things. Because we know we're smarter. We can see it. Very obvious. So, it's the same thing. He's farting in front of the door, and my mom's like, oh, surely it's not because you're so naive, you fucking moron. He's doing it because you're letting him be there to do this. So it's your fault too. And then you act like it's not happening. Fucking give this guy more money so that he can, more consideration, better terms, longer terms, anything to help him out so that he can fucking screw you back and show you contempt some more, right? Sure. All right? And through all of this, I let him alone. Wow. Person in my position is actually looking pretty damn good, I'd say. All right? But for all that, for letting him alone, and years would pass, finally, he wouldn't even pay me back properly. You know what he'd do? He'd write out little checks and then leave them in random places in the house for me to fucking discover. Like once a month. And just leave them around like they're like little, like, shits that he leaves for me to pick up. You see this sickness? That's fucking disgusting. What kind of man is that? You don't want to treat somebody properly? Don't go borrowing money from them. You don't get to borrow money from them and then continue to treat them improperly. Not when that person didn't have a right to that money. You're a stranger. You're not my family. There's not a family transfer of funds to help each other out. I don't know who the fuck you are or why I'm even helping you. You would think that if I did that favor for you, that you would owe me in some way to be nice. No, you're just worse. That's fucked up. That's very disgusting. It is. Years later, I eventually move out. My dad comes to the house to fucking help me move out. Guy never even came out to acknowledge my father. And he comes into the home. Hid behind his curtain. The curtain of the living room. And that'll come up as a theme again in just a little bit. So, and then the day I move out, remember, 3 days later, I come back to visit the mom, the locks are changed. See, it never ends. It's always about being addicted to showing as much contempt as possible, even though you would go hang yourselves in shame. Okay? So Anthony, you see what's going on? Does it look like I did anything wrong to these people? No. You know, my mom would continue to tell me for years, oh, you know, you weren't very good. Yeah, you weren't very good. When you were 15, you threw a cup once. I said, yeah, because I was being treated like shit from the beginning, you fucking idiots. And I just couldn't take it anymore because for years you were abusing me. He was abusing me, verbally abusing me. But I'm like, who the fuck is this guy in my house? They don't talk to me, but then you're going to yell at me at night. Are you crazy? But in a twisted inversion land, that's called, see that means it sounds bad, right? Stop being morally brain dead. And then as I said earlier on in this set, in a prior video, I said even after I moved out, I just decided to forgive it all, forget about it. Come back around for a holiday meal, say, what's up, man? How you been? Long time. I remember you. Oh, I'm sure all that is water under the bridge, right? Yeah, sure. So that later when I move back with my grandpa to help take care of him, I get to be called gay, and then when there's other police problems, I get to visit my mom and then get to be told that I don't belong in my mom's home. Who the fuck are you to infringe? It's all about being a disrespect freak. But when mom allows it, see, anywhere else, I'd punch you in the face. But because you're dating my mom, the responsibility for your badness now transfers to her because she allows it. That's why we're recording all this for here regarding the problems I'm having with my mom now. Ah, do we get it? It's all about how she became responsible for his actions against me by endorsing them, by not disavowing them, by not cutting off in punishment those who dare insult her son. Instead, she believed the opposite program, which is, someone's insulting my son? Well, I like that guy more, so it's okay to therefore go against my son. God will cut you off now too then. Make sure to burn in hell. I did nothing fucking wrong, you morons. Every moment I ever did anything in my life, you fucking freaks fucking abused me to the point that I would fucking blow up in whatever way. And I only got more and more respectful over time. I wasn't choking anybody after 18 years old. No. This is the twist, you see. The more and more responsible I get with my behavior, the less, the more and more you will seek to put the spin on me. What the fuck is that? This shit never ends. So, fast forward now. He's in my house ripping my things off my wall. I'm like, this is indignation number 1317. And the giant chain of indignations. That never one, a single one of them was ever fucking admitted that it was wrong. And then telling me, I wish you were dead, or whatever the fuck he said, the substantive equivalent. Yeah. Well, my mom was there. I turned to her, looked at her. She said nothing. Later, I'd say, why the hell you let him say that? That's the most insulting thing anyone's ever said to me in life. Why? And it's coming from the least appropriate person who has the least merit to say that. The boyfriend slash stepfather, quasi-stepfather like role is the most disempowered person in any family situation. That much is known. Basically, if you're a step parent, you have none of the benefit but all of the obligation. Everybody knows that. That's just life. You accept that. You have the least amount of privilege. But when you're psycho, you take your least amount of privilege and you try to make it, puff it up so that it acts as if you have the most, okay? That's insanity. The only reason it's being allowed is because people are allowing it. They're the ones who are most guilty of all. You're just as guilty if you allowed it, enabling it. So, at this point, I'm like, all right, well, this is starting to become the beginning of the fucking end. All right, this is the first moment finally where I stopped kind of like posing a nice and reasonable and tolerable structure. For the first time, I was like, all right, now this is so obviously uncalled for and unacceptable that this is starting to wear on my dignity. You can't be here talking to me like this in my house. And he says in response to me, I have a heart of stone just for you. Fucking kind of fucking weird shit is that to say? And again, right in front of my mom. Every time he says something inappropriate, I look at her to prompt her like, will you be checking him now? Or is this also fine? In which case you are showing I accept responsibility for him saying that to you. You may hate me later, yes. Yes, now mom, you are. See, you are hated now because you allowed all this. You will never run away from the debt of the guilt that you allow by making it. Okay? So at this point, I'm telling more about what the fuck happened, because I'm like, this shouldn't even be happening. I go back to discuss the merits. I say, listen, you fucking seem to not be understanding something. I didn't do anything wrong. And I begin to clearly say, you know how this whole thing started? No, I don't. So I'm like, then what the fuck why are you starting anything? You don't know what happened. So I begin to explain. I was in my room doing exercises. I sustained a fucking injury to myself. I walked out and I told her about it. He didn't hear any of this, so he's looking at me like puzzled, like hearing new information. And he's quiet, like he's listening more, so I could tell this is new information to him. So I continue. I say, then I told my mom about what happened. He's looking, listening. And I said, and then she said to me, well, what are you even fucking exercising like that for? That's some stupid shit. And let me tell you what, audience, and Anthony especially, and also my mom who's surely being told to listen to this as well. The only one slight temporary transient moment where this guy and me briefly touched for just a single moment in time before it'd be, torn again, obviously. But we were on the same page. I said that to him. Any man knows that that's nuts. So as soon as he heard that, he looked at me and his whole body posture kind of relaxed. And he looked at me and he's like, "Naprawdę?" Like, wow, for real? I was like, yeah, dude. And then he kind of just sits there, right, because obviously if that's what happened, conveniently, when she ran upstairs earlier that day, she didn't tell him that part now, did she? That's why women are not allowed to be judges and witnesses. Because you selectively make it to fuel your feelings instead of what's actually correct in the objective situation. But look at the funny evil. Now where he is brought to the awareness of the situation, this is the first moment where he is brought into it. This is the first moment where the full liability for his actions becomes attributable to him. So before, he was operating on a false impression. That doesn't excuse it, because it's still without respect to be talking to me that way, even if you falsely believe something. There's too much noise here. What the fuck? Even if you falsely believe something. But when I fill you in, I did in front of my mom. She's in the house the whole time, no more than several feet away from us most of that time. On the other side of an open doorway or something, hanging there. Later, she'll pretend she didn't hear anything. I'm telling you, it's all mind-blowing. It never ends. After he sits there, she was like, well, for real, naprawdę? Like, to think, And I saw the wheels and the mechanisms turning in his mind behind his eyes to, think first I could see every moment, thought by thought. First he realizes, if that's true, then he looks bad already, because apparently he's overextended now, where you look at it in this light, it's like, oh shit. So how's he going to justify this treatment of me? Well, when you're a con artist, what do you do then? Once you realize you're in the wrong, a bad, immoral person's instinct is to cover it up and to continue the false slant. So he realizes, well, if I go on his side now, I don't like him enough to do that. So even if he's right, we'll still treat him like he's wrong. And then you saw his look in his eyes change back again, back into the evil snake look. So I had a sense of possible justice for a split second. I saw it in his eyes, and then he chose in his heart to abandon it and said, no, I don't care. As if to say, I don't care what the truth may actually be. I won't respect the truth. I'll respect my version of it. And then he answered finally to me. And he said, you know what? I don't believe you. I believe your mom. I don't believe you. Wow. On the face of the situation, you believe a woman over a man. Where in fact I was correct in what I said. That is the truth about what happened. Moreover, he said this in front of her. So she witnessed this, that I had claimed the truth and that he was choosing to be loyal, but that's not correct loyalty. You don't do that. That's really fucked up. To divide a mother against her son, who's the son that you hate. What the fuck is that? At that point I said, okay, so you confirmed that you basically choose the devil and that you were an agent of the devil himself, so to speak. So at that point, my respect for him was going even lower. And that was the first point in the whole day where I'm like, all right, now you're really fucking doing the wrong thing. For the first time that day, my tone out loud became closer matched so with the tone that as you've been hearing me say all evening here on this recording. I started being like, you know what? Now this is fucking bullshit. I was saying the truth. I am saying the truth. You're gonna choose to not believe me? What is this shit? In response to this, he raises up his phone, turns on the camera again, flashlight comes on. I'm now being recorded in my own home without permission being granted to him. And as soon as he turns it on, he simply points it at me. I was 31 or 32 years of age. And then he simply says this. As soon as he turns it on, he points it in my face, and then he says, like, blip, it's on. And he goes, yeah? Do you like choking your mother? Do you like choking your mother? And recording my fucking reaction in my house where he's recording it against me involuntarily. I'm like looking at him. I turn to look at my mom. She's just chilling, watching all this. And I'm thinking, injustice, injustice. And if I were to do or say anything, he's trying to egg me on and then to record me being egged on to further use against me. It's all evil. It's all Satan worship. It's all, I'm trying to screw you as much as possible because I don't have regard for you. Yeah. Well, guess what? I simply look at him and he says, yeah, do you remember what you said that day to her when you choked her? I'm thinking, I was 17 or 18 years old then. I'm 31 now. Let's see, that was 14 years ago. Not even in ancient Israel would you be held liable for something after 7-year repudiation. But when you're in the wrong abusing me in my house and I call you out for it rightly, your response is to attempt to reframe by bringing up something from 15 years ago. And on what basis? He says, by the way, obviously he didn't understand the correct context for what happened that day. Well, let's see if he understood the correct context for what happened that other day from 15 years prior. He goes to me as if believing he's the God of that situation who knows all things that have happened. He wasn't in that room at that time. He says, do you remember what even happened to you? Why you started choking your mom? I'm watching him. And he goes, because she said, all she said was, I want you to fix my computer. And then you started choking her. And now everything makes even more sense. That's not what actually happened. And Anthony, you've been told the full information of what happened. It wasn't simply, I asked him to fix my computer, and then he started choking me. No. The actual thing that happened, funny enough, again, she fails to mention the key important details to the people who she makes become mad at me, right? Sick. So really, that day was very informative. It became the first day where I realized, oh my God, it's not just this guy who's an asshole. My mom is responsible for it because she purposely mistells. All right, the previous recording had cut off. We're resuming now. It's a day later. And I'm back out here, and now it's the next day, and we'll just continue right where we left off with what I was saying there now, which was yesterday. And what was the last thing I said? I had just reviewed it now. It's about, well, I forgot again. Can't remember. It was about, oh yeah, how he, this idiot guy, thinks he's, I see, and now see, when I instinctively correctly say this idiot guy, when anyone listens, it's like, yeah, the word idiot fits. That's a fair and reasonable characterization of the person you're describing in this story. There's no reasonable way to protest that. I just called him an idiot fairly and squarely. No one would say reasonably that's reasonably untrue. You can't. You lost that power as soon as he started being an idiot in this life. See that? Very easy to understand. So therefore, anyone tries to deny me or accuse me of speaking falsely at any point in time in life later, where it's the case that this guy's never apologized yet and has never demonstrated either defensibility or justifiability to anything he's ever done, that too in itself from such a person there would be a further wrong against me. Do you understand how dignity works now on planet Earth? It's called when I speak things correct, don't take away from my dignity by challenging me, because right is right, period. Worship God by worshiping truth, not your loyalties and your sicko ideas that are twists of what actual life is, actual reality. Don't do it. It's bad for you. Okay? Now I'm trying to remember what it was that I was saying just a moment ago. I may have to go review this thing again. Let's go see. That's right, exactly. I just reviewed once more. That's right. We're cut off. I said, he's not the only one responsible for what's going on. My mom is responsible for enabling it, allowing it, and for recklessly or even intentionally causing the misunderstandings to become rooted and to sprout so that it would cause a divisiveness in the home. Now, what kind of mom acts to allow divisiveness to remain in the setting of the extended family group instead of really, actually, genuinely taking it away, ripping it, and never allowing such thing? Okay? It's like allowing a small fire to start, and instead of putting out the fire immediately, you just kind of relax and no big deal, that's fine, as you let the fire spread. Now the whole building's on fire and you're wondering, why is everyone screaming? You know, and why is everyone mad at me? Because you had an obligation and a duty morally, which was to stomp out all tiny fires as soon as they start before they kill everybody. Very obvious. And you were told this since I was 15 years old and we had the original big problems in the family. And I said, this guy's not treating me well, so this needs to stop and he needs to apologize and start treating me correctly. And all my mom did, you know what she did? She went to the middle of the living room. I was 15 years old. He was sitting around his bed. I'm sitting by the couch. And she simply says, turns to one side and says, okay, you are nice, and then turns to the other side, you are nice, be nice. Okay, so everyone's nice, good, yes, and that's nice. And then fucking clapped her hands like she accomplished something and celebrated. And Jesse said, yes, that's great now. I said, no, what the, I just got cheated. For the first time ever in my life, I feel like I got robbed. Why would you insult me by doing such a shitty job of actually correcting the problem? See? That's the real problem. Never be afraid to get your hands dirty and go all the way to solve the real problem. Disgusting. So now, 17 years later, things are getting worse because you didn't stomp out the fire when it was first starting. You pretended it's fine or that it wasn't gonna burn anything. You're blind. Always listen to the man when he instructs how to do a thing. Then it would be done easy. Everything would flow correctly in this world. Obviously. What are we dealing with now in this story? So there we are. At that point, I'm just as angry at my mom as I was at him. And I kind of got despondent. I'm like, all right, well, obviously this shit is going nowhere. So, fuck this. And I became visibly, you know, when you take away a man's dignity, I don't have an obligation to be nice to people anymore. You're in my house, indignifying me. So I'm like, this is, you know, you're doing wrong. What's wrong with you people? You know what he says to me? Instead of admitting, yeah, you're right, I'm wrong. No, he says, hey, here's my dick. Pull on my dick. Pull on my dick. I've never been spoken to like that by any human being on earth. It doesn't happen for a reason. But remember, audacity, correct the mistakes of audacity with more audacity. So just say it again even louder. You pull my dick, yeah. Again, turn to the mom. Mom acts like she doesn't have ears. You're all gonna get the karmic repercussions. Almost certainly it won't be from me. And I'm not planning on it being from me. But I'm very certain in my confidence in a good and just universe and karma and God, it's gonna come from the universe. I surely hope so. And I'll passively wait to see how it happens. Good. Let it happen and then let it keep happening. It needs to hurt you people until you wake up. You understand? Eventually, it was done. He left. So, in this story, you'd say, wow, that's unbelievable. That's pretty crazy. That was really such an incredible ending to that day. It's unbelievable. You know what I'd say? I'd say, you think that was the end of that day? Stupidity doesn't know any bounds. Maybe 3-4 hours later, now I'm processing all that much more about what the hell has happened in that day, that I have to be subjected to this kind of disgusting shitload treatment that's not barely fit for fucking snails. And you're gonna give that to me? I don't think so. And I'm there in the room. I'm in my grandpa's room in the bedroom over there, or I spend a lot of the time in his room. He was my buddy, my special, closest family member. Loved him the most. Well, I'm in the bedroom. I'm doing my stretches. I got my stick, my big, huge bamboo stick, and my other exercise things, and I'm doing my things in the dark in that room because I'm so angry. I'm just stretching in the dark. I'm not even fucking. I don't even have the lights on. See? Well, let me tell you another incredible mistake. Now, you're hearing in the story, this mom's boyfriend just keeps coming in the house all the time there, right? It almost makes it feel like that's normal. But probably he's there because is it like established that he regularly comes in? No, he doesn't regularly come into my home. Who the hell invited him? Abuse of power, abuse of positions is the only thing, huh? Well, it's evening time now. See, there was a morning incident, an afternoon incident, and now we're going to cap it off with the evening incident. Now, naturally, turn your attention to someone in my mom's position. It's like, she is really hugely responsible and reckless here. She's putting dynamite next to dynamite and blowing fucking fiery matchsticks at them, and it's an incendiary, flammable situation. Why does she keep allowing him in there, and why does she keep supporting in any way the mistreatment of her son in general in this whole situation? Because she's not a moral person. She's an ego person. Only when you're psychopathic but love your ego, you will believe and try to make other people believe, he took away from my dignity. He moved his fists around my head when I told him what I have. Oh, it doesn't matter what I tell him. See, I'm God and I have immunity. I'll tell him whatever I want. Why are you stretching like that? Oh, you try to hit me now? Not really, but I'll reframe it. Oh, let's make him believe that was bad. Oh, and see, it never ends a delusion. I don't fail to understand the other side. This is what you people don't understand. You want to take two people to find out which one is the superior one in terms of what they understand? You bring liberals and conservatives over to the, political arguing table, and they all start yelling at each other, right? And you're this, and you're bad with this, and then you're this, and you're bad with this, and it never ends. Here's a hint, how to read which one's actually the intellectually superior one. One of them believes in their position very strongly and does not understand how the other side can believe what they believe. Okay? The other side, they also believe in their own position very strongly, but they're slightly different and distinguished from the first. If the first believes in themselves very strongly, but they don't even understand the other side, so they're very angry. But then the other side, well, yeah, they believe in their side very strong, but they also understand fully why and how the other side is thinking the way they are. People fail to analyze that part of the equation. This is the part that tells you, is a very easy way to shortcut to figure out who really has the superior mind read on the real deal and who's the blind one. The one who doesn't even understand the other side is the one that's inferior. Okay? The superior ones get both sides. That's why they have chosen their side, because they understand how both work and understand the one they've chosen to be better by the correct vision and processing of their understanding. They already see. All right? And I'm not going to go deep as to which one it is, but maybe you have your own guesses probably. You might not be wrong. But anyway. So, in a situation like this, we end up, Anthony, I mentioned my mom and I had later on, it would be that we'd have a therapy meeting with this author of that book, Shefali Tsabari. The psychiatrist, she was a psychologist, I believe, but functioning as a therapist. She turned to my mom, she's like, Mom, look at how you're even looking at your son is the problem. My mom was like, huh? I don't understand. And then for months and years later, she's just like, I don't understand. I know you don't understand. And I know that everyone else does. That's why your position isn't correct. We know you're the lowest one here. Everybody else does understand. When mom acts her way, but then she tries to continue acting her way, if someone were to go, Mom, what about your son in his position? She was just like, I don't even understand it. Right? We know you don't understand it. I understand mine and I understand yours. I could mimic you if I want, tell you back to you, and you'd actually be stunned like, oh my God, that is what I think. Exactly right. I'm like, yes, I know that's what you think. And I further know with even more advanced things that go above the clouds you could see, but I'm up there, I see clear, why your lower thing is eventually breakable, because it's not correct. Yields to my more sophisticated framework. That's why women yield to men. Amen. That's it. Time to learn now, finally. It's funny. Even Jordan Peterson came out. I could show the recording here too, but I won't bother. But he said the same thing. He's like, what's really weird is that he was talking to his daughter on one of those podcasts, probably hers. He said, what's really weird, psychologists, psychiatrists can't account for why this is. Usually we could factor out gender differences once we account for other personality traits when it comes to finding correlations with like political beliefs or any other trait beyond that we're also trying to correlate with. And he's like, but we can't do that here. No matter what, women are associated more with liberal thinking. And then he'd like change 2 or 3 other associations, and then eventually he's like, so therefore this and this and that and that and that and that, and that's associated with that, that's that. And then the daughter's like, oh my God, what are you saying? Liberals are stupid? And of course he can't say that, so he'll be like, no, I'm saying that they have a tendency to believe overly simplistic things that don't fully account for the complexity of the variables, that you need a more sophisticated brain model running higher software to get a more accurate equation and a read. Oh, okay, and they're all agreeing. Like, yeah, I know that too. I see it every day in front of my eyes. And my mom's actually conservative, but actually she's not really conservative. She happens to be conservative, but she's not into politics whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? Her politics is, did we have food today? Did we bring bread home? Okay, nice day today? Like, that's it, pretty much. But by coincidence, the way she runs is conservative. But you would never guess, because she doesn't have the intelligence of a conservative. She probably inherited the understandings of the world only through pure parroting and copying. Or because her culture, the culture she came from, Polish culture, was the most extremely conservative one in, you know, in Europe, I'd say. In in non-third world country Europe, or if Poland's like somewhere in between a second world country and a third world country-ish, or second world maybe. That's the most conservative planet you'll find in the universe, just by the way the culture operates. So you're only correct by accident. That doesn't impress me, because when we actually apply you'll still make mistakes because you didn't even know why you believe the things you do, just through habit. That doesn't impress anyone. If you're still making mistakes, you didn't connect to the spirit of why the thing is so. All right? If you love Christ and Christianity so much, through the pervasive Roman Catholicism and Polish Catholicism that swept over the country, there's a more interesting history there as to who our family seems to actually be when we look up the family tree. And but nevertheless, why my story, our family story, and a lot of other Polish family stories are very identical in that regard. All right, we'll keep it at that for now. But you know, if you look at the Catholic principles, they say, yeah, Christ was all about extracting the substance from behind the form and realizing how to like unmarry the form and remember to stay married to the substance so that you're really with the heart of the thing. Okay, so you transcend the form because the substance is the spirit. Okay, right. So Barbara never learned that part, so therefore she thinks that everything she does is right when it's actually wrong, but she doesn't have the vision for it. Oh, so it's very clear. Okay, next, I'm in that room. All of a sudden Mom comes back down. I don't even know why we're letting her in anymore. This should have been a bigger problem and a bigger protest than it was at the time. But all this stuff was happening new. Every time you get a higher level of crime perpetuated against you, every time it happens, that is the newest, highest thing that's happened to you so far, and it keeps happening. So you keep getting blown like what do you mean that just happened? And then more victimization because you kind of passively let it happen, so then, because you're just stunned. So then the stun leads to the further stun from the next higher thing. It's all sickness. He comes in right with her. And I'm like, as soon as this happened, I'm like, nope, this is a powder keg. You're about to explode fucking dynamite, you idiots. I feel it. I had a feeling something really was gonna go even worse. And I said, if it was, I'm not gonna sit around anymore. I gave you guys all day and a ton of chances to back the fuck down. It's not gonna be good. I'm not looking for trouble, but you are, so stop it. You're not gonna abuse me and steamroll around me. I don't owe you that treatment to just chill and let you steamroll over me. I'm more important than him, you fucking pieces of shit. I come first. Stupid motherfucking idiots. Pieces of unloyal shit. First, be loyal to good things. Secondly, be loyal to your family. You broke both when you go against me. You will suffer karmically, I promise you. I'm very certain the world will move in ways against you that transcend anything I do directly. That's still going to affect you. I squarely hope and pray and have a very strong confidence it will be so. He comes in. He walks down to the bedroom. He kind of peers in, sees me, turns around, walks back down. And if you're a reasonable person, the thing to do there, if you're in his shoes, would be nothing else, and probably hold on for your safety. Surely nothing else. Don't say anything stupid that would be completely unilaterally provocative on your end in a way that's not even justified. Why are you even there? And number two, you know, where I'm not aggressing in any way right there, you have no business fucking even opening your mouth without fearing for your life potentially. It's getting to that level now, because this is 1, 2, and 3 strikes, you're out. All right, I'm not expected to have superhuman fucking it doesn't work like that. It's not like we get to abuse the dog, but the dog has to stay never barking when we abuse him forever. Otherwise he's a bad dog, right? No, he's not. That's a properly functioning dog. The one that bites you after you fucking poke at him too many times. That's nature, the same correct nature God gave all of us. Stop provoking us. Get hurt for it. Get hurt for it. Suffer. Scream. I hope you scream and cry. Endlessly. It has to hurt you. You'll be in a fucking layer of hell, the deepest one, by the way, because betrayal brings you to the deepest level of hell. So that's the very core. And you'll be screaming, God, I will be so happy when you scream for your fucking life forever, but you will have lost it forever. You understand? That's what hell is for people who end up doing wrong in this life. That's what they inherit after it's all done. So let's see, class, if you're hearing someone express joy at the thought of their parents and their mothers suffering in hell, is that a sign that, oh, that's only naively, that only means that son is wrong? No. Anyone with the full picture says, yeah, that's completely the mother's fault for allowing and perpetuating a kind of relationship with a son that causes him naturally to be brought to feel this way after years of abuse. Why did the mom do such a fault? Is she stupid or is she evil? Well, here's how you differentiate between the two. If you don't inform her, you don't know if it's stupidity or evil. If we make videos like this over and over and over again for years now, this is happening for years, and she still keeps doing it, the presumption of ignorance or stupidity starts looking pretty flimsy. Doesn't look like negligence anymore. It looks like recklessness to me, which is akin to evil and maliciousness. It's not good. All right, and where certain people didn't get it before, you're getting it now because there's people like Anthony, and it's just gonna keep going. If it doesn't work at the level of one witness, and there's still some kind of resistance, it's gonna be more witnesses, and then the whole general public. I'll really publicize these videos. It will never end until you bow. Bowing before me is the same thing like bowing before God. Is this one and the same? When you're in line with the principles, it's that one who sent you, so you're facing the same orientation and direction when you worship and bow. It's very simple and easy. They're all consistent when they align with their nature. All demonic, devilish, satanic things align. And the opposite aligns there. And it's a polarized universe in that way. It's very simple. He walks back down, and with sheer venom and contempt in his voice, sneering almost, that you could hear, he simply says out loud, yelling down to my mom about me, keep me out of your fucking mouth if you value your existence the way it is right now. This precious status quo, you don't even know how fucking foolish you are until you fucking sacrifice your own shit needlessly. It has to hurt you people till you understand. He says, you know what? What the hell is that? What the hell is that one doing in that room over there? You guys are probably like, what? Well, Anthony is, at least. My mom is, you know, she's installed. It's all installed with the sickness. Anthony's probably like, what? Yeah. So let's get a framework here. Anthony, if I come to your house and I come to you and say, Anthony, what the hell are you doing in this room? Go to that room. You'd be like, what? If I go upstairs and go to her boyfriend and say, yo, asshole, what are you doing in this room? What are you doing there? Go there. Yeah. That's about the same level of fucking respect and sense that is the way it was there when it happened that way. And so he's like, what are you doing there? What's there? Like I'm a fucking dog that's see, here, this is obviously showing the whole world, here's how they fucking program you if you're their fucking son. This is how they train you. You're supposed to feel like you're a thing and a dog. You're not an adult. You're a fucking item. What's he doing there? Should have had your fucking throat sliced for even dreaming that thought. I'm too nice to these people. That's the fucking problem. Anyway, amazingly enough, my mom yelled out from the kitchen in response, "He's always in that room."
Some people, they were just like, they get into an argument.
That's normal. I don't even need my mom fucking speaking up for me in that way. I don't need her permission to vouch for the fact that this is, no, that's acceptable because I say it's acceptable. Or as if to insinuate like, oh, you know, he always does that, so just let him be. I'm not a fucking dog. You're the dog when you come into my house. The host runs the guests and not the other way around. The resident is always the host and the non-resident always yields to the resident. That's called the correct laws of yielding in life, you morons. Pieces of shit. I fantasize about chopping you people up to cubes. Chronically. Cubes. I don't do it, but it's all I think about. My deepest entertainment. Because you deserve it. That's how much, it's a sign of how much hatred you recklessly, purposely installed in my heart. You dumbasses. So she yells out, "No, he's always in there." At the same time, I also yelled out, "I'm always fucking in here." And number two, where that goes out saying, and mind your business. It's none of your damn business what the fuck I'm doing in my home, where I reside, where you don't reside here. See how that works, stupid? Now, reasonable test. If you just yelled out something dumb, and two people from both sides around you kind of corrected you at the same time in like stereo effect, what's the smartest fucking thing for you to do, dumbass? It's for you to stand corrected, bow, hang your head low, and shut the fuck up. But no. You know what he said in response to that? It's all about taking more dignity away from me. It's not about learning fair and loving God, which translates into loving the people around you by treating them well. It's about, well, let me treat you not well. Okay? And love that, yeah? No. So anyone who enables that, mom, is the devil too. In response to that, he simply says, again, with even more contempt in his voice and even more sneering, "Listen, I don't give a shit what the hell you say or where he goes and what you think where he goes." So number one, that response in itself is contemptuous and disgusting. But number two, it contradicts his very own self. He fucking first came in here saying, "What is he doing in that room?" Yeah, actually, that's what he fucking said. Sorry, I'll even quote more verbatim. He originally said, "What is he doing in this room?" Again, like I'm a puppy who needs to be guided where the fuck to exist in my residence. Fucking idiot. The arrogance to think that you can ever, any human being can act that way about any other human being ever on this earth is the ultimate disgusting vomiting thing. Go kill yourselves. Get it? And then to respond with some other bullshit. So no, now I'm fully provoked. Audience, consisting of men listening. Yeah, John, I can't blame you. Half of us would have killed him by now. Half of us would have killed him. You're actually amazing you haven't killed him yet. Well, how are you going so long without hurting this man? Yeah, I know. They brainwashed me pretty well. I was trained to accept abuse my whole life. It's good to just take it. Fucking pieces of shit. I hope they really all burn in a big iron fucking bull or something. Melt them in the same fucking one. Yeah, you want to live together like that? You could die together. I won't do it, but I hope it happens to you from somewhere else. In fact, it's beautiful when that happens. You know all my curses land. You've seen it yourselves. And who knows, should it be called a curse or should it be called justice? It's the hand of God operating on you. Don't look at me for fucking with complaints. So I got up. I went halfway up the fucking corridor. Yelled some things at him in strong disapproval. Was I doing anything wrong? Audience? No. That's... Obviously you should be defending yourself in that position. What he's doing is wrong. Exactly. That's correct. So there I go. I did the right thing. And what does he do in response? Does he do the right thing and hang his head and go, all right, maybe I'm a little out of line. Let me go just chill. Or like, let me slow my roll here a little bit. No. He fucking looks him back at me and he just says in English now. First time he spoke English. Fuck you. Does he have a death wish? I think he's asking me to murder him, right? Because only someone who wants to die will treat me this way. Because you're about to die, I think. Now this enrages me even more. I tell this guy, dude, I barely even remember what I said, but apparently it's what I said. I said, dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you. If you don't fucking watch out. Can anyone blame me, honestly, objectively? No. You were probably brought to the edge of psychological insanity by that point. Anyone else would be too. Every second person would have done something similar by that point. Because it's so mindlessly insane and abusive. He's not entitled to any protection to not be told that by one in your position after all day of being treated like this. You being treated like this by him. Exactly right. But mind you, did I give him any what's called legally called a true threat, which means like you genuinely need to brace yourself for imminent violence? No. I said this to him as a warning shot, like, fucking back off. You need to get some sense. You know, go back and fucking reassess whether this is the correct way you want to be going. That, as I then turn around in the hallway, walk back down, and I'm walking with my grandpa. Now he's with me. He like wandered out over to where I was standing. And me and him were almost inseparable in that house. We're always walking together. He was my closest person. I miss him so much. He passed away 3 years ago. You'll find out very soon about the circumstances under which he passed, including the last time I ever saw him and why it was horrifyingly conducted. See, the abuse never ends, my friends. Even when you keep being told by John Winslow, look, I correctly declare once and for all time, you are wrong. They don't understand that. They shit on that statement. They don't value it. If I wrote it on paper, it'd be worth 0 cents to them. But that's the insult. That you don't treat my declarations and findings as if they're from God himself, practically. But when they are, you spit on God too, therefore, when you reject the paper that comes from me or any statement that comes from my mouth. Always be careful who you take serious and who you disregard. Because if the one who you disregard is correct, you disregard God himself, who speaks through that one. You people are morons. I'm walking with my grandpa down. He's right next to me. We're shoulder to shoulder in a tiny corridor. And we're walking back towards the bedroom now, because I'm done. And all of a sudden, he from behind us both, starts moving quick and charging at us. After a few steps of him running down, I half turn around to look at what the hell he thinks he can dream to fucking do in this situation without getting murdered himself. He fucking puts his hands up and fucking just blindly, like a pig blindfolded in a tunnel, just running down, not looking what the fuck you're bumping into, shoves me. And where I'm in a extremely tight space, where my grandfather is being helped along, who's 80-something years old, has Alzheimer's, and doesn't walk terribly well. He's in front of me, his shoulder's in front of mine, you idiot. So if you push me, and he's positioned right in front of me because I'm helping him walk alongside me, what do you think is suddenly going to happen to my fucking grandpa when you knock me into and through him and where he's standing? Innocently. Well, both of us innocent. He knocks me, pushes me forwards, causes my grandpa to be knocked. We both stumble a little bit, but my grandpa, of course, not having the footing, my grandpa's knocked down. Yeah, this story gets crazy. Any other human being, if you're the girlfriend of that guy at that point and your life, family story has looked like all of that so far, everything, all the negative shit that's happened and then leads up to that, and then that's what happens, 99 out of 100 sane women would have left him immediately. You can't, this is too much, you psycho. You're not allowed in our lives anymore. There has to be punishment. You can't signal to you ever that this is acceptable in any way, that you get to be living on here without a consequence. This is done. But of course, 1 out of 100, Barbara Winslow, the special one, who's so dumb that everyone else around her has to suffer. Grandpa's knocked down to the ground. He yells out in fucking pain and discomfort. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? As soon as this guy knocked down my grandpa as a result of knocking me, I'm still standing up. I looked at him. Immediately, I knew, gotcha, bitch. That's a felony you just committed in my house. I didn't say that out loud, but it should be obvious. Unless you're, actually, no, unless you're them. Then you're blind. You're always half a step behind when you're one of those guys because you're blind. I'm never behind. I'm 20 steps ahead in all ways all the time. Even when it appears or not, it's only an appearance. Trust me. I keep telling you people, my GABA B density is superhumanly thick, so you don't get how perfect it really does all align. I know, you even still don't believe it now. And yet everything goes the way it needs to, and even better. All designed to put you in positions where you are fucking shown for what you really are. It's good. God smiles when we do this like this. That's correct development on Earth. When you mess up, you pay. So, what was I saying now? Let's look at the law. I could bring up the law on my screen here once again as well, but I'll paraphrase it. It's the same effect. You guys know, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not kidding. Felony in New York, endangering the welfare of an elderly person, vulnerable elderly person. If you are someone who's designated in some way as a caretaker of that person, guess what? He technically was. Okay, check. We have that element. When such a person acts with recklessness, such as to cause physical injury to a vulnerable elderly person, or physical injury is defined as a standard meaning of injury, or plus, in addition to that, any instance where they're brought to experience substantive or substantial pain. And our grandfather was knocked down and he yelled out. He was in pain. And the action itself is reckless acting of the reckless risk, the Recklessly, the risk was created for such injury to take place. Like as much as that was, or even more serious. That's a felony. That's not even a misdemeanor. You're gonna go to jail for a long time for that. It's not a funny thing. As soon as that happened, actually, in a weird way, those were Marek's own angels too, perhaps. Because if a felony didn't, in fact, happen, such that I really didn't have to push or do anything because I already had him by the balls and he was trapped in my design, then I would have just probably defended myself by castle doctrine. If you're home and you have an assailant who doesn't live there and he's attacking you and you're at home, you have nowhere to run, you have the legal right to basically half kill that person. Now I would have. You're fucking a 60-year-old man who walks with a fucking limp, and more on that later. All of a sudden that limp magically went away as of about a year ago, where he had it for 20 years, which tells me some new information. I hear how people walk above me. I told you I fed about high receptors. I know exactly what's going on even when you don't tell me. We'll discuss that soon. And the motivations and underlying reasons as to why these limps are suddenly changing and his walking patterns are suddenly changing. Think I don't know what's going on? Think I don't fucking understand years later? It's all ego. If you believe that I'm supposed to be coming together and aligning harmonically, I wouldn't be running to a gym and running and trying to do things to imagine that I'll become physically tougher as a 60-something-year-old, 70-almost-year-old man to fight someone who's 35 and will kill you with 2 fingers. It's all in the spirit of resist, 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 defy, 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 even when I'm the jerk, even when I'm the jerk, even when I'm the jerk. That's psychopathic. That's narcissistic. You people get it? I know everything. You people are so blind compared to my supersensory enhancements. You don't even realize how possible it is for me to understand everything. It's like an alien species has visited Earth in the form of me. All you see is a green-shaped human. It's not just that it's a funny shape. He literally is God compared to you people. It's like comparing a human to squirrels and dogs. You can't even imagine the capacity difference. But morally, that's the only one that counts anyway. It ain't about the other stuff. It's about whether morally you're superior. That's the only single thing you need to rest on to be properly set in this life. Amazingly enough, when he's standing in the room, he saw that his first initial action caused my grandpa to be knocked down. Or I'm looking at him. First, I'm looking at him like you really that dumb? But number 2, I look at him almost with a little smirk because I'm like, you're an idiot. And I got you already on account of you haven't been stupid enough to do that. I don't even need to do anything. I don't even need to fucking fuck this guy up anymore. I can chill. I'll look even better. I already have the felony on you. From that, plus the attempted assault on that. Multiple charges, you're going. So by that, I didn't even motion to him to defend or fight back. I just stood there like, like, fucking moron. You know what he did? See, reasonable person, you realize you did that and then you went a bridge too far, you slow your roll. No, guys, remember, psychopaths, what do? Audacity, more audacity. So, he just shoved me again. You gotta be reeling at this point. This is like comedy. I've never seen someone so recklessly... Like, he must not love himself. My biggest theory with psychopathic types is that they don't have instinctive love for other people. But remember also, in principle, and really in truth, we treat other people the way we feel about ourselves. So people love each other in this world for real, and that is a reflection and a counterpart to how much people truly love themselves when they really do, healthily. That's a beautiful thing. When people treat others sick like this, it must mean because they don't have the capacity to love. Well, we say, sure, that's a lack of a certain type of receptor in the brain, probably a lack of oxytocin receptors. That's the love hormone. You don't have that, or enough of that, so you're always a chameleon trying to fake in this world. I know several people of this type. They're easy to find. When you're offended about God, so to speak, they're very easy to pick out because they have way different frequencies than everybody else. Okay? But the person must not love himself, because he puts himself into such dangerous positions where, as a natural consequence of having such a risk manifest and realized, and now you're screwed in some way and brought to disadvantage. Well, a person who loved himself wouldn't treat himself with such disregard as to put himself in that position. You see? So I think it has, this is my best guess, it must have something to do with that. It's some kind of partial blindness about what's really going on in an objective situation, combined with the fact that these people don't love themselves, because, you know, you do something dumb, now you pay, but of course the only way it makes sense is that you must have secretly desired to pay all along. So go ahead, we'll help you then. Come pay. Good boy. Pay all the way. Stupid idiot. I love to accept payment. Good. Make sure you pay, and you pay all the way. Finally, by this point, my mom comes in the room. She realizes, as if she, you know, mindlessly wasn't realizing before. She comes around. Then finally she starts yelling, "Oh my God, what the hell, stop it, wah, wah, wah." Oh, okay, so she comes in and she breaks up the fight. Very good. Doesn't matter. What happened already has happened, and you cannot reverse it. So he's pushing him out. She's pushing him out, going, "What are you doing, you dummy, you idiot, goop-goo?" It pretty much translates into idiot. Ah, so she pretty much admitted he's stupid / an idiot. Ah. And when you're being called out by your own girlfriend for being an idiot while you're getting pushed out, because obviously you're in the zero moral right and position to be doing this by merit, you know what he does then? He tries to spit on me. While she's pushing him back, his head sticking above, he's like, and almost launches a spit. And I literally look at him like, almost with the look of like disappointment. Like, I'm not even mad, I'm just like, you're low, you're a fucking bum idiot, and you think you're gonna spit? And literally he looked at me as he tried to form up the spit, and then like at the last moment, finally that delayed filter in his brain, that slow year-old mechanism, finally kicked in there, and he like, and then he like thought about it. You could see first moment in his life, he finally thought for a second. It was just like, and he just swallowed his spit back in and retracted it. Fucking pathetic piece of shit. Well, I'll tell you something funny. So again, reasonable person standard. If you're the reasonable woman in such a situation, what do? Well, he's wrong all the way. But number one, that relationship's ending. Number two, he's dangerous. Number three, it's all that crazy. All right, and she might end up being a witness to potential proceedings. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Can't hide anything anymore. Well, what did she do? I'm at home where I am, where my grandpa lives. We live together. She pushed him out the door. Somehow at the same time, she, amazingly, she went, quickly grabbed my grandpa, who was still half reeling from being knocked down. May have been marks on him. Probably were. I'm not sure, but I believe my grandpa might have been enough of a, you know, but I don't know though. Did he bruise much? I'm not sure, but I suspect it could have been likely that it would have been apparent in that situation. I have a strong feeling. You know what happened? My mom pulls him out of the apartment. and runs upstairs with them both. And now they're both hiding upstairs, plus with my grandpa up there, who's also sort of a witness to his own what just happened, although he has Alzheimer's, so he tends to forget almost everything a couple minutes after it's happened. I'm sitting in the apartment, just a little bit of time passes, I deliberate, like, is enough finally with these people? Am I, I had to step out on a brave ledge and decide, like, do I follow my corrupt family or do I follow God? Do I follow what's right and truth, or do I follow permitting enough abuse? And this was one of the hardest decisions I ever made in my life, because it was symbolic. I was like, I can't keep doing this, because they keep... And finally, I just remembered, you know what? Don't cast pearls before swine. It was like Jesus himself came down and said, you've been casting pearls all the time before swine. I told you not to. And finally I was like, you know what? You're right. He's like, there you go. That's correct. That's the teaching. Call 911. And why was it not wrong for me to do that? Because as a default, you don't call the cops against family. You don't employ Caesar and use Caesar as a tactic against your own family to turn your blood and turn your own kind into Caesar, so to speak. Where Caesar is the system, the government, all that authority, etc., etc. But there's a higher principle where if someone does something against you, well, with that measure that they measured on you is acceptable for you to measure back onto them. So there's a special consideration where, like, look, in life generally we never betray each other to, like, police and stuff, no matter what. Great example of that, I was with I've told this story already, probably to both of you separately, so I don't need to go into hyper detail, so I'll just summarize. There's been cases where me and Sarah, the recent ex-girlfriend-ish, used to have an argument sometimes, not terribly often. We were very good for a lot of the time we were together, but so we're like outside in the park. I think she may have been drinking. There was a little bit of upset on my side and then both sides, and yada yada, back and forth. We got loud. We're standing near a park somewhere by Carroll Gardens. All right, all of a sudden a couple other people try to get in our business. We're like, all right, mind your business. They're like, fuck you, we'll call the cops. We argue a little more. Then cops come. They swarm the park, basically. Come around us, separate us. And they start asking the usual questions. What happened? What happened? You do this? Talk to us. What's your ID? What's your... Is he hurting you? Is he hurting you? Which I was. We were just arguing. But still. Let me tell you something. I'm going to use something as an example of what proper moral position is when you're the two people and then Caesar comes in to interrogate you from outside. And that's Caesar. It's not other people. They're asking me questions. I say, I don't got nothing to say. What happened? What's this? Who's that? Who's she? Who are you? I have nothing to say. Oh. They tried a couple weak attempts to have me answer some things. I made it clear, like, no, I'm not saying anything. That's it. Then they just stood around and we fucking just smirked and smiled at each other. You're not getting nothing from me. But they have her. And the woman officer, if there was a woman, I'm not fully sure on that, but it doesn't matter. A couple of them at least are talking to her, yada yada. It probably was. What's happening? Did he do something? Blah, 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 blah. I can't hear too well exactly what was going on over there. Eventually they all look at each other, shrug their shoulders, and just start walking back to their cars and walk away. How many of you on this earth wish that you were blessed with enough with the same thing? But at least that's what proper goodness looks like. And I looked at her. She was antagonistic with me up until then. We were arguing after all, weren't we? She looked at me. I looked at her. And it went without saying. She was like, I'd say no. I didn't tell them a damn thing. They asked me questions. I said, I'm not talking to you guys. And she looked at me. She almost looked at me proud, like she knew she did good. And I was like, you know what? All the arguments from the past hour or so aside, like, There you go. Way to go. That's the good shit. That's beautiful. Come to Papa. Like we win. Everybody's happy. Fuck it. That's it. We held hands the rest of the day. Walked off together into the proverbial sunset. You understand how life works? That's where God blesses you people. And then where other mistakes happen, then you pay the karma for those mistakes later. But in life, you got to do the right thing. I told this story to Mom and also to Anthony, I believe. So both of you guys know what it is to do correct. How many times have I had the police called on me by my own mom? So she waived. After multiple repeated showings, she waived the protection. Because she showed against me, I will not make such a consideration. I am different. I am a traitor. I am worse. I will always move against you, and there's no limits to how I'll do it. Anything goes. You're fit to be betrayed. You're fit to be thrown into Caesar's arms. You're nothing. That's the message you sent. So if you keep showing that, I say, oh, okay. So who taught me to go call the police now? Really? You did. Ah. So I called the police, and they came to the house, and I told them exactly what happened. And made the correct insinuations that based on his relationship with us and who he was to him and then the result of that and the recklessness and the elements, that's a felony. They say, yeah. They went upstairs, knocked on their door. I said, the grandpa's up there. Like they're practically holding him hostage in a weird way. Not literally, but practically. Because he's normally with me here at this hour. We're going to sleep now at this time. Obviously, they see, yeah, if they're holding him, they're probably trying to prevent him from being evidence that's available to us. I said, yeah. They might have fucking marks from having been knocked down. They go up there. And you know that part of you, Mom, where you say, yeah, like, how could you betray us? Like, how could you call cops? Like, yeah, that's how I feel about you. All along. Now you understand the lesson, huh? Stupid idiots. They knocked on your door and you pretended you didn't hear anything. Bullshit. I know how those I know we have the same shaped apartment. You lied when you said later the next day I didn't hear anything. Impossible. You are disgraceful, you fucking sick little snakes. You know you fucking heard. When police come knocking, you hear it. And even if you didn't, too bad for you, too bad for everybody. You didn't get a taste of what the fuck should have been meant for you all. Well, I'll tell you something. My grandfather was kept up there for 3 to 4 days. Never before has that happened. Wow. 3 to 4 days, that's a very long time. That's very suspicious. It's like they're trying to keep him there to like hide evidence or ensure his injury heals or get him to forget things, or what is all that, huh? Yeah. Well, that might be what it is in actual reality, but when you're in my position, and now the mom comes down and starts talking like, yes, we have grandpa upstairs for a few days, you know. You know how I was treated? I was treated, see, I was the victim there, but no, you invert it so you make it look like I'm the bad guy. You know how I was treated? It was like as if, oh, we kept the grandpa up for a few days because, you know, it's very crazy here, so, you know, we cannot leave grandpa alone with you. What? What? Are you people listening to this? Satanic inversion never ends when your actual programming is Satan, but you never realized it. You really think you're fine when you're not, but this is how the story about you sounds like when it's correctly told to people normal. So I'm done with the bullshit. For the first time ever, I'm telling my mom, look, you guys fucked up. I called the cops, and this is going to get followed up on until there's arrests and felony charges because of how improperly indignating you were to me, but you also hurt my grandpa in front of me. I love that fucking man. I hate you guys, but I fucking love him. That you fucking would dare to, any of you would dare to fucking so recklessly do this, but especially that he would, and that you would allow it, and you're just chill, and you're gonna try to reframe further like I did something wrong there. I didn't skip over any details. I kept telling him, I said, I'm gonna go to the fucking precinct and follow up endlessly until it gets taken care of the proper way. Still nothing. Several days pass. Nothing from her, I mean, and them. Nothing substantial happened. Finally, almost 2 weeks later, it's about like a week and a half later, something like this, my mom, in this whole stage thing, says, okay, you know what? He has something he wants to tell you now. Okay, go, come down. And it opens the door in my place where I'm living. He walks in. He comes up to me. I'm like, the hell is this? He walks up to me kind of half nervous and bolstering, but half still sneery and smirky, and it's the weirdest combination of shit. Pure psychopathy. 100% sure this is the same type. Stands there. He extends his hand out as if to shake my hand. I don't know why you'd want to fucking shake my hand without fucking explaining anything to you about it, what the fuck happened or whatever. But first he sticks his hand out, and then as he looks at me, expecting me to shake his hand, he says, quote, in Polish, przepraszam, że ty przewróciłeś dziadka. That's verbatim. Translation? I'm sorry that you knocked over your grandpa. And literally, as I had my arm kind of half extended, like wearily, as he was proceeding down this sentence to hear the rest of what he had to say, the hands are shaking as he's going fucking, sorry that you knocked over your grandpa. And the handshake gets released. And he walks back and he says nothing else genuinely to try to repair the relationship. That was the only thing he had to say to me. And fucking smirking and smiling and whatever the fuck, he walks back out of the kitchen and out the door, and he's gone. You're sorry that I knocked over my grandpa, you little psychopathic piece of shit? And then on top of that, my mom was behind him, then comes back around from behind him and says, yes, that was great, everyone, yes. And she starts clapping against herself. Bravo, right. That was nice. Good, so now is everything okay, John? Will you not call police now to file a report? That was great. Now we deserve immunity to be special, right? Because we really are just giving you more insult here through this. Guys, this is ridiculous. Someone fucking help me with this shit. It never ends. And yet, as stupid as my mom was with this shit, she's like, please, I say on his behalf, and I'm sorry too, so let's not have problems. I wasn't smart enough yet to learn you don't merit forgiveness until you make atonement, and there's no atonement there sufficient. They made a fake act of saying I'm sorry merely for the sake of the words. It's as if you just say the words I'm sorry like a parrot, it magically makes everything better. You don't have to actually be sorry, act sorry, and pay the payment that goes into the sorry system that you really want to restore the relationship that you've messed up through the bad actions. No, just I'm sorry. But of course, you know what he was saying. He was in control of his mouth. Fucking, he conjugated it very clearly. So, like, I never heard a sentence like that spoken even. It's like a trick wording. I'm sorry you knocked over your grandpa. Fuck you. I hope you do burn in hell. You're too lucky that I haven't been the one to fucking directly send you there yet myself, you piece of shit. And in no fucking world would you ever get the beat on me. But I'll tell you how sick everything else is too. Here's one part I did forget to mention on the last recording, which I meant to include in the last piece. All right? Going back to when this guy didn't pay his debts and started leaving fucking checks around and being all weird when I was fucking lending him money, and he didn't fucking, he wasn't a mensch with me about this shit. No. Do you know what he was doing then? Well, he was borrowing my money, which you're supposed to be grateful for, and then not paying it back, and then making other prolonged problems and never talking about it. Instead, what he would do, he would leave boxes of bullets, ammunition. And mind you, this guy, he's not a police officer, and he's not a super high level security officer. So there's no legally owning a gun. Number one. And number two, if there is a gun in the house, the rule is every fucking resident in the house, obviously for safety reasons, you don't get to illegally keep a gun in the home that I live in and I don't know about it. See how that works? It's not about that, whether or not there was a gun. And I'll never know. Except that the gesture is the only thing that matters here. Is that he had a big box of bullets that he bought, and he just stuck it super obvious under the kitchen table, and like would change the way the fucking apron from the kitchen table hangs, so it like cups around the bullets. So it's like staged. So it just shows me bullets. So instead of appreciating his girlfriend's son and striving for a good relationship, no, in his head it's just, I'll just show him bullets to threaten him implicitly even more. I brought this only once up to my mom. I said, why are there bullets here in this house? Of course, she just played stupid and said, oh, I don't know, it could be anything. That's not anything when you have bullets in a state that doesn't use firearms. It's all fucking mind games. Farting in front of my bedroom door and fucking leaving bullets on display. A whole bullet box. Dude, I don't care that you have bullets. If I decide you're fucking dead, and I will beat you to it anyway. I'm not scared of you. I never was. You can't even imagine. And then least of all, after everything that happened to me from the coma, I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of any human being, but least of all you. I'm not impressed. You don't get to shove me in my room years later over there when I'm with my grandpa knocking him down. You're not a tough guy. I literally would cut you open. You're nothing. I'd shit in your eyeball. I'd murder you and then bring you back from the dead to murder you again. You're a joke to me. You could die in hell. I hope you die every minute of your life till you're really dead forever. You're nothing. And my mom is nothing too, because she fucking stamps her approval on it. So you're both fucking cursed to death. Now going back to the story. Please, so don't do the police report. And you know what? I was still stupid enough back then to accept it. Okay, you know what? I hate him and I hate you too, but the two you idiots put together and you're still my mom and you're asking all nice, what the fuck am I gonna do? But if you violate this, so I said, here's what the rules are gonna be. Number one, you want a forgiveness on this? Okay, so here's the understanding. Rule number one, I never have any other issue from this guy ever again. So if he's really sorry, what I'm gonna see from today up until the rest of my life, all the way to the end of my life, is not a single other voluntary involvement of his in anything that has to do with my life that is against me. Okay, that's number one. She said, okay, I understand, no problem, of course. He'll never be involved against you because he's sorry, because he realized he did wrong. I said, no, he didn't. She said, sure, he realized wrong after I yell at him. I said, he doesn't realize he's wrong. He said, I'm sorry you knocked over your grandpa. He's still playing fucking games. She said, oh, I don't know. I think he's still nice. The illusions will never end. God made women to believe illusions. That's why you're also told to follow men when it comes to reality. Don't believe your idea of reality. That's where you stop. Don't do that. No, the only reason he made you programmed to believe illusions so that the human race will continue. Otherwise, you'd be disgusted with men. All of them. Wake up. There's necessary illusions, but he only made you to be the ones to believe them, not us. We see it how it is. So, I said that's number one. And you are his agent in this regard. So when I'm telling you, I'm not even going to speak to this guy directly, but I'm telling you so that you know on behalf of him that you will both know now, and then that's it. I wash my hands of this shit. You give me peace for the rest of my life, and you have my word I won't follow up on a reporting. Yes, great, like a vampire trying to secure the fucking payoff. That's all they care about, selfish. By the way, you think they fucking kept their word? Huh, you'll see. That's number one. Number two, I said, in addition to that, Mom, this is probably the greatest transgression against my dignity that I've ever experienced from family thus far. And it's gotten worse instead of better, even though I've gotten older. So you're supposed to give me more respect as I grow older, but this is a little sick. I don't know what's going on with you people. So for the first time ever, I'm like thinking, there has to be some atonement, and you're going to have to pay. She said, what am I going to have to do? I said, here's 15 books on how to be a good mother to your son. I'm ordering all of them. You're going to read through them one by one. Takes 6 to 9 months to read through them. When you're done, that's basically a college course. Is more than a college course. That's like a college, 2 college semesters worth of material and reading. You're basically like you're majoring in how to be a good mom now, right? You think when you read 15 different authors, whole books on how to be a proper mom to your kid and how to have functional, healthy family life, that's going to help, right? Okay, I'll do that too. All right, and I'll hold you to it. And when you keep your promises that you'll have done this, and there's no more bullshit from this guy again. He basically is retiring from participation in anything that has to do with me. So if there's any if there's any other future problem between you and me, for example, he's not involved. You get that? You don't run to him and use him for anything. He's done. He's retired. His automatic answer for everything for the rest of his life is going to be, yeah, I'm not dealing with any of that has to do with him. I should have been thrown in jail, but he's letting us get a pass on that. I owe him. I'm not touching it. That would have been the first correct thing to happen in the family history. You think it held up? I'll tell you what happened. For the rest of that year, I believe it was the year 2019, she read the books. She acted nice. Oh, I read all the books now. Everything is good. I'm like, wow, you really learned all the stuff in the books, huh? Yes, I read every single one of them. Every word, every page from every book. It's a stack of books, 15 to 20 books high. It might have even been like a 20 or 22 books, something unbelievable like that. Almost all the big titles in the genre, in the book industry. Well, gotta hand it to you. You did all the work. I'm impressed. All right, well, the natural reward is our own reward from that. So let's see if we'll have a good family dynamic from now on. I certainly hope so. And I haven't seen anything wrong yet from this guy, so that's good, very good. All right, we'll see. Well, it's summer now of that year. I was having an okay summer. Came back one morning, had a fun night out in Long Island. you know, met some chick. It was cool. Well, it felt pretty good about myself the next morning. On my way back home, get to Brooklyn, and then look who I see as I walk into the building lobby. In front of me, somebody who was holding the door for me reflexively without even seeing who it was that they were holding the door for. Well, it's me coming up from behind him, and who is it that's holding that door for me? I get a better look. Oh, it's my mom's boyfriend. We're about to have a nice elevator ride up together here. Good. This is the same guy who I just, essentially pardoned and kept up my agreement with not throwing him in jail. That's good. No felony record for you. I think, and he held the door for me very nicely there. That's a very nice sign. He held the door for me. That's the nicest thing that's ever happened to me from this guy. You would think that if you just found yourself holding the door open for the guy who did let you get off from having a felony charge after you made so many mistakes against him, that you would, that the momentum that you just entered into there that's running along that way, you would leave that undisturbed, because that's the safest and best and most morally healthy momentum that you should be sustaining right now along those lines. Would that be correct? Yeah, we would all agree reasonably sure. Okay, so we enter into the, and in appreciation of that, mind you, on my end, what do? Well, I follow guy code, which is what? Don't randomly, for no basis, fuck the shit up by provoking it without a cause, such as to disrupt the harmony. Because, as we know the rule, two men will kill each other like that. If fucking 1.5 words are said the wrong way, people die. So because the threat is always there, as Jordan Peterson also smartly comments, and many others too in the field, pastors, psychologists, etc., psychiatrists, that's what keeps things between men civil, you see? So I walk into the elevator, he held the door open for me, but kind of without realizing who was holding it for. But if you found yourself holding it open and you should be thankful to that guy and you agree not to be dumb, the coolest thing you could do is either, pretty much be totally neutral and just chill and say nothing much, or, be a little superficially, polished around the outside, which is even a little bit better for you. Things flow better. Good for you. You know what happens? We come in, I look at him, all right? In an effort to try to allow him to not have to feel as uncomfortable as he otherwise might, that's called me giving grace to him, you see? Instead of standing fucking silent in the elevator, might as well, look, it's been a long time. I hadn't seen him since that whole thing, since he gave me the bullshit apology. Well, let's program the dumbass on how to operate correctly in life. So with people like that, you have to basically do monkey see, monkey do, which means you have to show how to act. And since he's retarded, the only thing you could do is show proper acting so that he copies it. So finally he's programmed correctly. So I look at him like he's like dumb. I don't look at him like he's dumb, but he is dumb. I basically look at him and I say, yeah, in Polish, I basically said, dawno nie widzieliśmy się, albo dawno nie widziałem cię, which basically means, long time, haven't seen you, we haven't seen each other. Fair? Reasonable? Sure. Anything wrong with that, class? Audience? No. Okay. So I didn't do anything wrong, right? No, doesn't seem so. That's right. He looks back at me. You know what he says back to me? Verbatim, quote, first in Polish, całe szczęście. Translation in English, basically, and it's slightly not super easy to translate because there's like a hidden insinuation, but I'll translate it in a way that does include the implicit insinuation because it's based on how the words are conjugated. You know, sometimes in English you'll say words, you don't need to say them, but they're pre-installed in the meaning of the sentence. So what that basically means is, yeah, basically, yeah, lucky for you that we haven't run into each other so far. Right. Now, if the audience's faces aren't melting off by this point, I don't think this guy is very grateful at all that I didn't throw him in jail. What do you guys think? Uh-huh. I was about half contemplating knocking this guy's head off his shoulders. But weirdly enough, which is very unusual, instead of the elevator going up, it suddenly went down and somebody else came in. So again, angels keep saving this guy. I don't know why. Well, good enough. Well, we didn't talk much more after that in any meaningful way. I'm not too happy at all. Did I deserve being spoken to like that? Class, yes or no? I go to my mom. I said, Mom, that idiot of yours, he's malfunctioning again. What happened? I told her. When I told her in Polish what she said, her face fucking got like turned white. And she was fucking humiliated. And I say, yeah. So let's just get clear, because usually you and me are on two opposite ends of the universe, where I'm seeing things correct, but you're in a really big land of delusion. So I was actually surprised. I'm like, wow, Mom, you're actually plainly perceiving that this is a huge disrespect and an insult to me right off the bat. I don't have to go through all of this crazy shit to break your delusion layer. She's like, no. I'm like, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how disrespectful is that? She's like, yeah, that's like an 8. Yeah, that's 8 marks too much. Why is he still with you? Oh, I don't know. He's nice. Everything's okay. He fits fine in our family, see? No. He's insulting my dignity, and this is unacceptable. Why are you permitting this? Oh, everything's fine. No, John, don't be nasty. Don't be not nice. Oh, you're bad now. And the bullshit continued. Here we go again. I'm not bad because I'm correctly identifying your bad behavior. And where my mom enables it, again, the guilt transfers and the liability transfers onto her. Ah. All right, Mom. So, because he said this, he's guilty. Or because he said this and you're kind of fine with it, life continuing on without the correction being installed, you're guilty too. Now, you read 15 books, right? Oh, yes, but you know, and then nothing. It's like, again, it's just the integrity got disintegrated. This isn't good. Well, I rebuked them. And where I rebuked them, you're supposed to learn. And if you don't learn, you're liable. That's the law of God. I'll continue the next story as to what happened a few months after that. Things get even more interesting. Now it's a few months later. I have my friend Kat coming around. Now by that point, my health is a serious concern for multiple people. You, Anthony, and Kat, and me, and my mom were sitting in my room having fucking conferences about this shit. Kat having read 1,000 pages of my typed writing about my health. Or she came from fucking Russia with half her mission was to sit down to finally get face to face with my mom to break her out of the delusion. And she's like, Barbara, your son has a serious problem. That's a health problem. It's not a psychiatric problem. He has a health problem. But you know what? I'll tell you something funny. Now, you guys remember that girl who falsely accused me of rape? Well, She obviously being my girlfriend at the time. Well, after the Phenibut thing happened, she was technically still my girlfriend for the first few to several months after that, till November, from April of that year 2016. I'll tell you something. This girl may never fully appreciate how large of a negative impact she may have had in my life in one particular additional way that is not readily apparent. I was taking Mexidol the summer of 2016, which is a thinner. When you apply a fluid thinner into a system that's saturated with drug, it will, unless you correspondingly increase the amount of absolute drug, chemical, or compound within that body, the mere effect of thinning the fluid within a finite constant amount of solvent volume has the same effect in science as if you were to increase the amount of solvent volume itself, which is another way of saying that it has the same type of effect as if you were to suddenly decrease the concentration of drug within that body. Now, if those GABA B hyperactivating chemicals were disabling the proper metabolization rate of chemicals in my body and the liver work rate, the only way you could quickly simulate or stimulate a withdrawal-like effect when you have a GABA compound saturating your body is to introduce a fluid thinner into it. So as soon as I started taking Mexidol, all of a sudden, very interestingly, I started to experience a slight withdrawal from the Phenibut and Fasiracetam that was literally encrusted into all of my tissues, supersaturating me all throughout. After a couple times of taking this pill, I noticed that effect. I said, wow, every time I take this particular pill, which is a fluid thinner, the thin fluid has the effect of like decreasing the amount of GABAergic tone activation. So it simulates the type of withdrawal that is similar to what somebody who is drinking alcohol all the time would go through when they go to a delirium tremens when they suddenly stop drinking alcohol. Now, you know that when you suddenly stop drinking alcohol after you've been on it, and you suddenly decrease the amount of GABAergic tone activation because you're pulling the alcohol, that person will begin to have very slight hallucinations. Not just that person, but every single person in the world who you would put through that situation pharmacologically. So it's not an abnormality. It's normal and expected that if we blow your system out with alcohol all the time and then take it out all of a sudden, you will have very transient, brief, kind of hallucinatory-like effects in your perception that will last only for about a day or two, somewhere in the middle there. And like a week later, you're mostly over it. Okay, that's not just true of alcohol, it's true of any GABA activating agent. So if you were on benzos, for example, and we took away your benzos, the same thing would happen to you. It's a necessary truth. It's not an abnormality again. It's guaranteed. This will happen to you when we set you up this way. Okay, so there I was, post-Phenibut coma, and then chronic Phenibut GABA B activation, and all of a sudden I'm putting a Mexidol fluid thinner in me, which induces a withdrawal-like effect. What happens briefly and transiently when you cut down the GABAergic tone? Well, what did I just say, class? It causes a brief and transient hallucinatory-like experience. It induces a delirium tremens-like effect. So I took some of this Mexidol, and because the pre-existing drug concentration of the Phenibut was so high, by the way, this would be another proof that I did in fact have all that Phenibut in my body the whole time, like I said I did. Because if I didn't, then taking Mexidol months later wouldn't have that effect, because it does not have that effect on any other normal nervous system anywhere ever. Because it actually on its own raises GABAergic tone. It would only cause it to be lowered if the fluid thinning portion of that net total effect was so strong because of the amount of drug you had pre-existing. Only high scientific minds will understand that. If you can't follow what I'm saying, just know you're wrong and shut up. So, there I was, and I told Alex, What was my mistake? Telling a woman something and then believing that she would understand the truth in context in a way that the correct understanding would be preserved. I simply said, oh, Alex, damn, taking this Mexidol stuff and, you know, I'm getting like transient. I understood why and all the underlying dynamics, but I didn't tell her. I only told her the outer layer, the superficial portion only of what was happening. I said, I'm on the train and I'm like, you know, I'm hearing the conductor's voice for a moment, but like I know the conductor didn't come on. Like I heard like next stop is Union Square, and I'm like, I know this isn't Union Square, so what the fuck is that? Only time anything like that ever happened. As soon as I stopped taking the Mexidol, that didn't happen again. Ah, see that? So, all I told her was that. Furthermore, I knew the explanation was because the fluid thinning effect was thinning the Mexidol within my body such that the concentration effect was lowered. I'm not going to explain that to her because Alex was the least smart among all of us. So I'm not going to explain something to her beyond her capacity. So I just said, you know, hey, crazy stuff's happening. Ain't that crazy? Right. Now, when I tell her that, I tell her that with an reasonably implicit understanding, but for sure that I'm telling her this so that she could know it, but that obviously it goes without saying that this isn't something you repeat, especially without context to other people. If you were to, you'd not only be guilty of breaking my confidence, but you'd be guilty of falsely bringing other people into a false understanding, because I know that you don't understand fully what's going on. Surely enough, what does a woman do? Exactly the opposite of what you're supposed to do. She goes up to my mom somewhere on the side within that month, I guess, and simply tells her, listen, I think, because she thinks she's so smart. Alex, the same one who accused me falsely of something where when I went over the details of what happened step by step, everyone else was like, yeah, that's not rape. That doesn't constitute rape. I'm like, well, the way it got reported from her mouth, it got invented magically that the interpretation meant rape. They said, no, that's not rape. I have screenshots now and texts I just had with her recently since I started talking with her again because the order of protection finally wore off after 5 years. She admitted she made a mistake. Ah, see? Everyone in the end admits I am right. There's no such thing that I'm ever found wrong. Bow to higher power. Bow, only revere it in awe. But back then, only the mindless drone. Barbara, I think he might have schizophrenia. That's all it took, folks. That's all it took. From one woman's mind who didn't understand to another woman's mind who didn't understand. Never be a carrier of wisdom, women. You don't know what you're doing. You're too stupid to carry it correctly. But it's obvious now. When I tell you the whole story, it's like, actually, he's right. You did carry it and wrongly. That part is also apparent. Oh, duh. You see? And that effect was never undone. Only because Alex said it once. Ah, schizophrenic. Yeah, that's what I think. She took it from her like it was gospel. Oh, my son's schizophrenic. That's it. It became a new fact formed in her mind that no matter what Anthony would say to her, I read 1,000 pages of this stuff. He's not schizophrenic. This is real. No matter what Kat would say. I have a master's degree. Kat was one of the smartest girls too. Her IQ was super high as well. And she's like, and John is way higher than mine, but we're all telling you it's not schizophrenic. My mom was just like, yeah, sure. And then it would not change the position. She thinks I'm still schizophrenic. It's not schizophrenic, and now you understand why it's not. From the beginning, it was a false understanding. But you are the broken ones because your wrong working brains are the reason why you falsely came to believe it. So now you understand why your only job is to listen to correct thinking? Yeah. So, next. To a family who committed so much evil perpetration against me, how sorry were they? How well do they atone by treating me different and treating me better, so just to make up for the abuse of the past? Well, let's see. I'm sitting there one day in January-ish. Kat is over from Russia, staying with us, staying with me. My mom came around from being outside from shopping. She comes down to the apartment. My grandpa's there. I'm there. Kat's there. I'm very concerned. Kat came in a little bit before my mom did, for they were both out, but then Kat came in. I said, Kat, this stuff's getting worse. The antibiotics and the other stuff built up in my system. I'm having more tears of connective tissue inside. She's like, I know. I've seen the leg and the knee, how it was when you had the break there, and then the shin bone like tore off the fucking thing and it's hanging. I'm like, yeah, it looks disgusting, doesn't it? Yeah. I saw the pictures of the neck when the thing happened with the neck, and it's twisted. It looks so sick. When you turn your head, it looks like you're decapitating yourself. I said, yeah, that's more of the connective tissue ripping. And she said, there's other connective tissue ripping too? I said, yes. Where? Well, it's inside here, under the ribs, by the diaphragm, and here, with this esophagus here. Now this rib is jutting out in a weird way. That's not normal. She's looking at it for weeks already. She's seen it. It's gotten worse and worse. She's like, yeah, we're taking pictures of this. It looks like someone surgically inserted a football under your rib cage. I'm like, yeah. That's not right. And then other things tear. Boom here, boom there. This is crazy. But of course, they have better context. I'm not going to repeat all the context on here, because then it'd be a 20-hour conversation. I wrote 1,000 pages out for a reason, so people could go read the pages and then understand. But your brain actually has to work for you to understand it correctly. That's why higher IQ people get it more, but lower IQ people get it less, while thinking falsely that they are getting it. Getting only that, well, this makes no sense because the writer makes no sense. No, it's because you're just dumb. Don't be so arrogant. But everyone sees you're dumb. It's the most obvious thing in this whole fucking thing. So my mom comes around. I'm more traumatized. Now remember, last time I had another tear, and she just ridiculed me. Okay? Well, I'm having more problems. I'm traumatized again. Telling my yin feminine parent, who's supposed to be the nurturer, loving parent, who's compassionate and feels sorry and is there to comfortably, help you and to be tender. That's the damn fit. Why else would I tell you? So you could be a robot or a man? Fuck that. I'll tell my male friends if I want that kind of response. Sorry, bro. Be cool. Be tough. You got this. So what I want for my bros, not for my mom, or to be fucking made fun of in some weird way, which doesn't fit. So I tell her, and I'm not just telling her in my house. I'm telling her in front of Kat, who's hugely sympathetic. But you know what? She's not liking my mom that much on her own, because she finds it like almost insulting that she found herself caring more in a womanly way about my condition than she sees my mom does. And that blows her fucking mind. And she's like, why the hell am I coming here as a stranger from Russia giving more of a shit about you and your life than your mom apparently does when I come here and find you guys here, and how she is acting about all this when you talk about it. John, when you walk out of the room and it's just me, you, and Anthony sitting there in the room, the three of us, and we're discussing, and I'm informing your mom about the details of what's going on that I read, and I did all my scientific research, and I know what I'm talking about. I have a fucking engineer's degree from fucking master's level in Russia, which is high-ass education. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And everything you say, John, makes scary sense. I've actually never, she's like, I've never seen anything so intelligent as how scary it is. Like, it sounds nuts the first moment you hear the premise, and then it's so highly backed by perfect intelligence. It's as if God's teaching you new reality. You're like, wow, it really all fits. You're learning things. You said your mom doesn't give a shit about you. When you leave the room, And we're telling her things. Your mom just smirks and like rolls her eyes and laughs and sneers. And she thinks that, she probably half thinks that we're also like laughing. We're not laughing. We're looking at your mom making these faces, rolling her eyes, and like making fun of the fact that you are concerned about your health in the correct way, thinking that we also are playing along. We're not playing along. We're not happy with your mom. This is very alarming to us. I said, that's nuts. We all got here so that she would learn through plurality in the echo chamber that she's the dumb one out. But you can't tell dumb they're dumb because they're too dumb to realize they're dumb. They keep thinking they're smart. That's the torture prison. You never escape it when you're stuck with these flawed people. So she's there that day. She opens her refrigerator. She's leaning into my refrigerator. I'm like, Mom, listen, this is really alarming stuff. New things have happened. This has happened. That has happened. We may have to go to a hospital because this is serious. Cat's seeing giant asymmetries forming where one of my whole rib cage sides is blown out over the other. What the fuck? And the various other explanations that went behind this. This is what seems to be happening with this, with that. It's very apparent. We're taking videos and pictures of it. It's fucking, I feel it. There's like a weight there. The pressure's asymmetrical. The weight is asymmetrical. The center of gravity is asymmetrical. And the visual is asymmetrical. You can touch it. And my mom simply turns around without facing me and giving any compassion. She keeps her back turned to me. And she pretty much says, you know, well, now, what do you want to eat? Do we have enough? Is there food here? No, I just completely ignored what I said. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, not again. And then to be disrespected like this. So obviously, class, why is it wrong for her to have done that? Because that's disrespectful. That's a grown man speaking to her about something serious. How dare you keep your back turned and change the subject as if it's not serious? Mom, you come in next time when you have a fucking guy on the street knocked you over the head 3 times with a lead pipe and you're cut open. Come home, scream, come knock on my door, say I just got attacked by the guy with the lead pipe, and I'll keep my back turned to you and say, yeah, well, just make sure that, you pay your rent next month, okay? Yeah. Why don't I do that to you? See how you fucking like that? Is that respectful? Is that dignity? Oh, well, when I tell it backwards to you, you understand? Oh, of course that's not. That's terrible. I say, yeah, that's what you did to me in front of other people. If you said that to me alone in the room, which you already do, abuse me in that way when we're alone, you and me, I say, that's fucked up. Why are you doing? That's where all of our fights start. It's every day, it's the same fight. Is you say something dumb, I correctly call you out on it, then you pretend it wasn't dumb, and then you start calling me bad. I'm not bad. That's bad, what you did. And I'm right for pointing it out. But when you do it in front of Kat, who's there, who came around, who practically worshipped me like an idol at that point in time, still, until you fucking half ruined it too in a way, which I'll get into, sadly. It's all your fault. The Kat's position, she's seeing me rightly turn to the mother of my life to say, look at these terrible things, and she sees the mother turning away callously. It just, I don't care. This isn't important. Let me change the subject. That food, this, that, back turn. So she sees me get upset, like what the hell, like what the fuck, these are serious things, my health, my life. Kat comes around to the kitchen. She's compassionate. As soon as she heard me say that, she couldn't help but be brought close. That's the woman's instinct. She was brought close. Mother turns back. See the sickness? Improper programming. And with compassion and Kat's eyes and Kat's voice, she's listening on and she knows what's really happening. And she's like, I'm so sorry, John. Again, monkey see, monkey do. She's trying to ape and mimic so that the dumb one in that situation learns the better behavior. When you mimic it, you copy. So it's like, here's how you treat John. John, we're so sorry. I know it must be very tough for you. You know, John, don't worry. We will help you out. We will. I've got this. We will come up with a plan. We're going to be active for you. Don't worry. Meanwhile, my mom fucking just keeps her back turned, acting like nothing's happening. And I'm like, I hope so, you know, appreciate that, that's good. I'm worried because this is serious and has been ignored for years because I'm trapped in a situation of being ignored. This is crazy, this is scary stuff for everybody. She's like, yeah, I know, it's not good. Then Kat turns to my mom. And to try to reassure my mom now, to train my mom how to correctly operate and think, driving the ape and mimic now as if my mom's the child and we're the adults. To have to like show her how to actually, how you're supposed to be acting in this situation. Because a monkey will copy and then you're helping that monkey. Sick, we have to do that. How broken she is, this woman, this mother of mine. Kat then, to show compassion towards my mom, to try to show like sympathy towards my mom in a way to reassure her, she turns towards her and addresses her and says, you know, don't worry, Barbara, don't worry. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. As if to say, like, don't be scared about how concerning the situation looks for John's health. We'll all go and take care of it medically by getting to the right doctor so that the right help will come in to save his health and life so that we don't have to be scared. Don't worry. So verbatim, what were the words that came out? Correctly spoken in context too. Barbara, don't be scared. Quote. The next response in front of me made by my mom back towards Kat sound exactly like this. Oh, I'm not scared of him. What? And now you see, first of all, this now here is one of the most shocking and insulting things I've ever experienced in front of my life. And it's multi-layered too. What's complex about this one is there's like 3 minimum plus things going on all at the same time. Number one, it's like a fetishizing of this way of thinking called, it doesn't matter that anyone else around me is trying to reframe it to be an, hey, we love John and we want to support him deal. It's about, I'll reframe and stomp it down again to say, no, my God is the, I will show us all how much we are to treat my son as if he's a problem. And when we speak reflexively about him, it's about reinforcing how we will not be scared of him and he's the threat and we're not a threat and we're going to be. But that's insane. But when you're so married to that sick, twisted line of thinking and the behavior and the spirit that underlies that behavior, even when it's completely contextually not appropriate, you will just shout out the thing that makes you show your disdain for your own son, which is the insult in any situation, but that you would even dare to do that. And then the third thing is that, and you did that in front of somebody who liked me, my friend who was there for me. You're going to disrespect me and treat me with contempt, where underlying, you're violating another fundamental rule of God. Every woman is commanded in the Bible to be in reverence of every single male within the society who's an adult male. Even older women, so we could bring up the quote again. Older women likewise, be reverent of younger men. You know what reverence means? is an interesting word in English, and it's a correct translation. It combines the words respect and fear. So there's a healthy fear that's the good kind of fear. Similar fear that a son will have towards the parents when he's younger, especially the father, who will retain it for the whole life. But also there's a counterpart, corresponding reverence that even a mom should have for her full-grown son now that he's full-grown. Where, see, that's the reason you don't insult your son, is because you also, in addition to the fact that you love him, so you would never insult him because that would violate the love you have for him. Even in the absence of love, still mothers will never speak against their sons, because even when the love is gone, there's another part left. That's the reverence part, where, well, he's still a man. It's scary, so he would be hurting me if I, like, the underlying threat is always there, as Jordan Peterson says. But it's because of the threat. The threat is good because that's what keeps life civil. When you are so neurally broken that you don't even acknowledge the threat, that's what makes you the radical, crazy one. Because you're no longer civil. There's only two things that keep people civil: love and fear. And when you have both tethered down, you function correctly. When one of them is broken, you have the other one at least. When both are broken, you're Satan, because nothing holds you down anymore. That's the first moment where you just do anything you want. You see the problem? And how gravely offensive this is to me. So in a very extremely efficient way, my mom basically signaled that not only I don't have respect for my son, not only I don't care about his well-being, not only I have no regard for how I treat him in front of other people, not only do I have not regard for how I treat him in front of people, even when other people are trying to strongly frame that that's not the right way for me to be in this. It's like 6, 7, 8 layers of transcending. Knocks stupid-headed. So stupid-headed. But on top of that, I don't give a shit to even insult him openly like this in front of him while he's in front of you, while you're all in front of me. And I'll just say, it's like 12 different insults. So fucking amazing. That's actually the most genius thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen such a powerfully insulting thing in 12 different ways stapled under one so short sentence. That's shocking. Right in front of me. You guys could never imagine the hurt inside that you would feel if you're in that situation where your health and life are dependent on your family being awake with you, to go with you, to help you, and being participants and active, like, stakeholders in your life to care. And where you know it should be that way, they'll just say, no, like, you are nothing. You know? What are we even talking about again? We're talking about how I shouldn't be scared because because the frame here is I'm supposed to be scared about whether my son's health will be saved or not as a result of how well we're helping him today with our love. No, I don't even realize that. I'm not scared of him. Totally incorrect sentence. Only shows like I won't even talk about what we're talking about anymore. I'll just say anything. Any opportunity will just be there for me to say out loud how much I hate him. That is one of the most abusive things I've experienced in my life. At this point, immediately, what does my deepest man instinct fucking feel? This woman so obviously has no fear for me that okay, we'll change that in a millisecond flat. I walk up to her and basically just look right in the fucking eyes and just fucking raise up my fist, bruh, and fucking start like gesturing the fucking hardest, fucking scariest looking blows to her head, punching like a boxer to fucking make her go to fucking immediately rip the fucking thought from her head. You will never fucking say in front of anyone around me in my life something as stupid as that ever again. I don't care what the fuck you do in response to this. Number one, I already know that I was promised from before, you'll never turn to police again as a result of the favor that you owe me that I didn't turn to police before. And as a result of that, well, I'm not actually hitting you, but I'll make you apprehensive so that your reptilian brain learns, oh, when I say dumb shit, that will be associated with an immediate fear, like, oh, maybe I am a little scared of my son. Oh, so maybe I shouldn't be speaking stupid. Because then that fear, if you don't have love, that's sick on you. But then if you don't have love, at least you had better have fear. Because at least that's half the equation that you need, that will keep you in line, so you will be a better mother to your son. Good. And Kat immediately came in the middle. She was in a very difficult position because she was just as deeply fucking offended by that as I was. Because you got to realize, my mom was speaking to her when she said that, not even to me. So when a woman in my mom's position is saying something like that to Kat, it's an attempt by my mom to try to dominate the frame control, through frame control, about how Kat's supposed to be thinking about the situation. So that's an insult to Kat too, on top of her seeing how insulting that is for my mom to say that about me in front of me, which is in huge misresponse contextually to what Kat was saying. That wasn't even the question she asked, nor was that the situation here. I wasn't doing anything wrong or scary prior. I was just sitting in the kitchen going, I'm worried about my connective tissue and the other symptoms that are happening downstream from this. What the fuck? So Kat's in between us. She's, trying to, break it up a little bit. I didn't actually try to hit my mom, but I tried to make my mom feel like I was trying to hit my mom. You see the delicate balance there? It's not about actually hurting her. It was about making her feel that she could. That's the beginning of reverence. That's the beginning of fear. So once you do this, then she, moved along to the side, and then she had her, scary moment where finally you're looking at me correctly, which is with a little bit of fear in your eyes. Thank you. That's the first moment in this life I'm being acknowledged properly. Good. Good. And she's looking at me like, listen. So she was saying, listen, okay, she was genuinely nervous. I'm thinking, good, finally, first time in my life, we might actually be able to encode something into the deeper encoding reader at the real core part of her brain that she always keeps enshrined, closed in a way that actually just blocks us and doesn't help anyone and hurts everybody. Finally, thank you, God. I'm standing there fucking screaming. Now I'm angry, going, fucking the amount of shit I've had to go through in my life with this shit and the ripped intestines and the fucking all this shit, and you fucking sit here and make a fucking joke of it, and you don't fucking take it seriously, and this is how you fucking treat me? And the audience would be like, yeah, holy shit, yeah, oh my god, goddamn. Nice. I get it. He's angry. And with a reason. Maybe it doesn't look nice that it happened that way, but number one, she invited it. Does anyone listening believe anything to the contrary? It cannot be reasonably so that it's to the contrary. That woman did invite the fucking problem. And the chain of all the things she owed me better than that in that situation. So while she's standing there going, listen, I know, oh, I know, I'm sorry, I hear, yes. And when she said that, I said, oh yeah, you're sorry? Okay, we'll see. You say you're sorry? All right, the first step in the right direction. I don't have much more to say then. Let's see. Time will show me right now how sorry you really are. 1, 2, 3, go. We'll see right there. So I had nothing left to push or yell or shove or nothing. There she was, finally brought to a nervous state of like, oh my God, I am sorry. Holy fuck, like, wow, good. But a real person who was brought in such a situation would stay sorry and stay nervous and stay never dreaming to offend the one who was just held to be guilty of offending that one who you're not supposed to offend. And that man almost tries seeming like he's gonna, like you stand liable to get hit by him, so that you get frazzled. Basically to charge at her and just like, blah, like you need to fucking, that's God speaking through me going, you need to fucking wake up now, because you've been dismissing the seriousness of the shit for far too long. But then when you look at with your eyes and, oh God, okay, well, oh, I'm sorry, with her arms up in like a very like sorry pose. Okay, now the next test is, well then fine. Now I'm gonna step away because I have nothing to fucking say to you anymore. I'm gonna step away from you, and now your next actions will show me if you are trustworthy and serious, that you really are sorry, in which case is a tiny chance that it could be possible that you could still fix the whole relationship. Or if I turn my back, turn my attention away, move away, walk back into the kitchen, and then you begin like a snake to suddenly and then do something again counter to me, I will know that you are of the devil. You're a traitor and a snake all along. So when you said, oh, I'm sorry, and then I said, okay, and I took your sorry at face value so that I wouldn't keep, showing a threat to you any longer, in exchange for the regard that I gave to that woman in that position, that mother of mine, to say, okay, then let's see. And then turn so that the test would now be established. Reasonable person in a situation, let's analyze it. What would a reasonable mother do? Class. Okay, well, number one, John, a normal mother in that situation would genuinely be empathetic and compassionate, in addition to truly scared, but feeling correctly guilty. The fear would be connected to the fact that she really does realize and admit and acknowledge she was wrong. She was wrong. So if she's wrong, you can't both be wrong and resist the one who you wronged. See that? So obviously it's a giving up of any claim against such one in your position, John. Why? Because you cannot show up to equity with unclean hands. You see that? You cannot show up to equity to claim equitable remedy with unclean hands. If you did something that invited the thing through reckless risk, you waive and lose any claim when the risk is realized and manifested, because it was brought in through your invitation. You don't get to work out of both sides of your mouth. That's tricky. That's the Satan aspect. Only Satan will try to work out of both sides of his mouth. Invite the thing, then work the opposite way on the opposite side. That's psycho. What else? Well, John, if a normal woman was in that position, she's not psychopathic, narcissistic, her love of you would keep her bound to you like glue. Your turning away from her at that moment would only make her come follow you even more. No regard for her own safety, but also realizing that because she is acting right by working towards comforting you, there is no threat to her safety, because your job as the woman who transgressed against the dignity of the man in that position is to show only true remorse, which is what you began to show in the beginning through your actions with the sudden, the nervousness and yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, I hear you, yeah, I know, it's so tough, your intestines, yeah. So therefore, a normal person also wouldn't do what? Contradict the position they just showed, so as to demonstrate that, well, I'm fake now, let me try to get you now. So no, that wouldn't happen if you're normal. Okay, we established this. So what happens then? I turn away, move towards the kitchen where Kat is, and as soon as I turn away to see, okay, so God's gonna show me 3, 2, 1. What is the nature of my mother? My mother goes like this. Her face just immediately changes and goes, okay, now, yeah, run to the door. Yeah, I'll get you now. Running to the door, as if I'm gonna run after her to try to hold her. So it's all poor context. Obviously, I wouldn't fucking try to hold you. Only delusional thinking, where you're always half a step behind, keeps making you act in ways that are always half a step too far away from where you should be. No one's running after you. You closed your own karma there. I don't run from you, moron, or run to stop you. I let you make your mistakes because that ensures that you get to suffer more at the end even more. Why would I run after you? As if that would be the tendency. I want to be heard. See, most people try to prevent other people from being stupid. Here's the karmic key, straight from God himself. Don't resist their evil. Let them do it. It only racks up your claims more. That's the real power claim. You get it? That's why I let you people fuck up this much. Because you only give me more power. You people never figure this out. Now you realize it's advanced AI thinking. You will realize soon. She runs up. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kat's in my apartment. She sees her run out. Her first expression is like, basically just like, oh my God, like, that woman is fucking crazy. That, like, on top of the insult of the thing she just said, it's now okay to show more insult to your son by, you know, fake staging compassion long enough until you believe he's, what, making a mistake by turning a mistake. I turned away to purposely let you show who you are. Because each time you do that, you will screw yourself. So that I'm not guilty of screwing you because you're always trapped then, aren't you? That's why I keep teaching you people. Only you can make it right by learning correct morality, which starts with love and compassion and then building out and framing out from there. She runs upstairs. What's next? I said, all right, Kat, here's what's going to happen. First, she's going to call the police right now. As soon as I said that, because I have to give instructions very quick as to what's going to happen, and then I have to send my pawns out to do the work correctly. When Kat heard me say, all right, now my mom's going to go call the police right now, Kat actually laughed and in disbelief, and basically said, like that, like as if that's funny, like, no, she's not. And when she said that, I just looked at her and said, yeah, I know a normal woman wouldn't, right? No one around you in Russia would. She's like, yeah, no one. That wouldn't. That happens every weekend at my house and everybody else's house. No one calls the police for that. Police is has to be 10 times more serious before a police would be involved. Right, well, I know that too, but my mom is a different universe that she's the only occupant of that universe. But she believes that her universe is the universe we all live in. So she works totally different than you've ever seen. So she will call the police right now. Again, she was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Why would that be enough of a conflict that it should merit involvement for police? And that'd be insult number 3 on a chain of insults where she's already guilty. So Kat's probably more. That's why it's stunning to her, because good people are always stunned when bad people act on bad instinct, because we keep measuring bad instinct by our good karmic measure, which is why we keep having our minds. We see you do repeated bullshit. So she's like, I don't understand. First she said the crazy thing, then she... ran, so why would she be guilty of a third thing? I'm like, it's you will never understand it, because in her mind she's not guilty. She's like, that's nuts. I'm like, yeah, I know. All that conversation basically happened with a shortened, contracted version of what I just said now, within like several seconds, really quick. Okay. So the cat's next, like, well, what do you want me to do? I'm like, go right behind her upstairs and be up there with them and just watch and fucking check out what's happening, so that you could be the witness to the full scope of it. You're not just here and then there's unknown things happening up there. Go be with them so that you can see with your own eyes that what I tell you is the truth about how